Hello. Poor Nation. I timed out Pollard. I'm a little bit sick. I think I'm getting sick. So this is going to be really fun. But it's okay. I ordered a salad and something else, which I won't tell you because it's illegal in 100 countries. And you will be incarcerated for being an accomplice. Thank you so much, Bennett. Okay, I'm gonna get into SVB's call. SVB Nation, I start my stream so we cannot talk about illegal narcotics. I can't hear you though. Give me a sec. But he's always scuffed with me. One moment, guys. One moment. Trying to fix why I can't hear these people.
Bingus Schmungus!
Thank you so much for the tier 3 honeydew. And let me close Discord. We're currently experiencing some setbacks. Hello? Hello?
Hello, hello.
Okay, it was SVB's fault because I was trying to fix my mic, but turns out it was his mic.
Yeah, it's SVB.
Damn. I think we should blow him up.
Agreed. Give me 2 minutes.
He's getting the
True.
bombs.
I think the bombs.
He's
Can you hear me
getting
now?
the bombs. Yes.
Nice. I understand the desire to bomb me.
It's okay. Happens to the best. Yeah, you miss a sec.
I haven't streamed in like 2 months, so that's why. I'm surprised more shit isn't breaking.
Hmm. Okay. One moment, chat. One moment.
How's
one
life,
moment.
gamers?
One moment. Gaming.
Gaming life.
Gaming. Whoa. Whoa.
Gonna sort out stream stuff.
Whoa.
Things are good. Sorry, I was muted because I was changing the camera stuff over here and
No worries.
getting
No
names
worries.
pulled up.
Yeah, been a while since I connected with you, Flats. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I know. I feel like it's been way too long. Like it's. Wait, when was the last time? I feel like it's like September or something.
It's been months because I haven't streamed in months, so we wouldn't have podcasted in months.
What have you been doing? Like, I know you've been working on another YouTube channel.
Pretty much, honestly, just like mental wellness for like the first couple of months was just me trying to
Maybe I
enjoy
should
my
I turn
life
off
and like be a
Crazy
happier
Frog?
person. And then the last 2 months have just been like, yeah, working on new YouTube channel, or not even new, but different YouTube channel and a book. Actually, I'm writing a book.
You're writing a book?
Yeah.
On what?
That's crazy.
On how to be good at video games. So
Whoa.
at some point, I will tell you guys all about it when it's actually in a further stage of.
That would be
I
really
figured,
nice
you
if
know,
I was able to read books. I would read it.
Yeah, I was
I
going
know.
to say, how many
If I
gamers
could
can
read.
read?
True. I'll make an audiobook as well to go with it. No, I mean, I figured like while I'm pretty much done with gaming, I may as well take all the knowledge that I've accumulated over time and put it to some use. And I was like, I'm pretty good at writing, so we'll see what we can get out of it.
So you're making a
What about you
ninja book,
guys?
like Ninja.
A ninja book.
Ninja made a
Ninja
book.
made a book.
Didn't
Was
Ninja
it
get a
good?
whole course or something to be a content creator
I
or
don't
something?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it kind of didn't go well. He doesn't talk about it anymore.
I stole your joke, Pollard.
Okay, I see. No, I'm gonna try not to be too grifty about it. Like I'm gonna try and be pretty honest and nuanced, but we'll see. What about you guys? Marvel Rivals Gaming?
We do be rivaling our Marvels.
Yeah. Rivals has been great.
Seems
I
like it's
played
either or
17
not
hours yesterday. Ah,
Why?
happy.
I
And
played
you're
with
saying-
Donkey Bird.
Oh, I actually caught a little bit of that. You guys were spiraling a little bit.
She said she wanted to eat a raccoon because we had a raccoon one trick. Great. Yeah,
I'm sure there's places in the world you could do that.
I'm sure. Is it illegal to eat a raccoon?
I don't know. Maybe
Oh.
some places might be a protected species. What up, SK?
Would
What
you eat
are
a
we talking
raccoon,
about?
SK?
Eating raccoons?
I don't think it would taste good.
You never know.
Probably not.
I don't think it would taste
I
good
feel,
either.
Oh wait, guys, check this out. Oh.
Wow.
Yo.
Way huge.
So cute.
Wait, is my extra curl thing on the left or the right of my face?
On the
I'm
left.
trying to figure out if
left
I'm
side.
muted to you.
No, right side, right side. Like
mean-
left.
Side?
If you're facing you, it's left. Like if from your POV, it's left.
But from
From
my
our
POV,
it's right.
right. I think we short-wired her.
Yeah. So like
I'm
right side for
confused.
us.
Okay. So I am mirrored. I'm mirrored. Okay.
Okay. You look cute either way, SK. I'll just alleviate any fears.
Mildly
Yay.
cute. Let's not go overboard.
Whoa.
That's
Whoa.
Gotta keep the ego in check. Holy shit.
Hey, listen, bro. You know,
that's interesting.
there's a Marvel Rivals ego.
Interesting for someone who's trying to like hop off SK to get a Pokemon trio.
Yeah. What the
I wouldn't
hell?
be insulting
you didn't
her if
even
I was
ask
you.
me. You were just like,
Listen, if I told you we're gonna
"Let us be an
trio,
SK."
if I asked you, the answer would always be yes. So what's the point of asking?
That's true.
But he knew Pokemon's answer wouldn't be yes
Yeah.
without SK. So
Exactly.
I feel like I missed an arc here.
Yeah, I
he
replied to
okay.
Pokemon and I said, "Hello, Pokemon. I would like to inquire for a potential triple stack with SK. Would you be down?" And she said, "Only if SK is involved." And she replied,
No, what?
"Look, I'll read the tweet exactly
abstracted.
word for word. Word for word.
Oh my
The
gosh.
tweet was, "Hello, Pokemon. Would you ever be interested in playing Marvel Rivals with me and SK? Thank you for your consideration." And then Pokemon replied, "If SK is there, I'm there."
the power of the SK, man. Your Riz has gotten stronger
Wow.
somehow. SK, it's gotten stronger.
The power of having absolutely zero.
It
It's
loops.
so negative that it becomes positive.
It loops. Now I
you
need to.
should write a book. You should write a book
I
on that.
respect it.
How to pick up women online.
Oh no.
I think there's enough books on that, probably.
That's
Not
true.
enough,
But
not
this one would
enough.
actually come from someone who knows what they're doing.
True.
I don't
actually
know what I'm
successful.
doing.
Okay, that's true. Those are two different things. But you are successful whether you know what you're
Wait.
doing or not.
Do you want to hear a story?
Mm.
Yeah.
I was on Tinder talking to a lady, and
Mhm.
I was like, she was like, "I'm so bored. I'm at work right now. This sucks." And I was like, "Oh, where do you work?" And she said, "A barbecue restaurant." And I said, "They call me Evelyn Barbecue because I like barbecue." I'm sorry, no one actually calls me that. Do you like sloths? And it
That
worked.
100% worked. Yeah, I was gonna say that 100% worked. No chance that doesn't work.
You like slots.
SK got that socially maladjusted Riz.
Hey, listen, that's how you know who's worth dating. If they find it funny, that's the person right there.
Yo,
Anyways,
true.
where is Necros?
I don't know. You
Where's
can
Serbia?
DM him.
I DM'd
You
him.
DM him.
I'm gonna go
Is
into
he-
his
is he
stream. He
live?
might be in a rank game
Yeah.
because
He's
he's
live.
stupid. At
Yeah, it's
Necros.
highly likely.
Oh, he's eating.
Oh, eating BRB 5 minutes. Okay, we'll allow him sustenance. That's fair.
I wouldn't.
oh, I need to eat too.
I need to eat too. Can we all take a 15-minute break?
Yeah, go grab a snack. real
I
quick.
already ordered food.
Get a
I'm
protein
waiting.
bar.
What'd you grab?
I just
I-
need to warm it
I
up.
got a salad and a thing that doesn't exist in America. It's called Sarma.
Okay, I'll be right back.
It's
I think salads
Sarma?
also don't exist. in the
Sarma. I saw it at TwitchCon actually, but I don't know how it's called in English. But it's
Yeah, I wasn't born yesterday. You say it's called Sugma? Man, you ain't getting me, brother. I wasn't born.
No,
fucking
I didn't
yesterday.
say Sugma. I said Sarma. Okay, so it's Sarma, and it's a. What is he looking at?
You said the same thing twice.
I said Sarma, not
there's
Sugma.
Oh, Sarma.
Yes.
Okay, Sarma.
He was-
Something to it, doesn't
I feel like he was gonna stab me. He was like,
I didn't say Sugma. I said Sugma. Come on now. You just moved
I
on.
feel like he was gonna stab me. He was like,
Peak gaslighting. It's like,
It's-
I didn't say Sugma, I
it's-
said Sugma.
it's rice and sometimes meat, depending on what kind you do, and in a cabbage leaf or leaf from grapes. A grape leaf,
Mm-hmm.
and then you put
Sure.
it like this, and then I think they put it in the oven. Anyways, it's good.
Oh.
Not Sugma.
Sadly.
I'm just laughing because it looks like SK just went to sleep.
Yeah, SK died and went to heaven. But that's the face someone has in like an animated movie when they're like, "Go on without me," and they're like, I'll live in peace. And then
Yeah.
monkey.
Moved on.
Monkey. She looks so funny. She's like this.
We should all do that when SK comes back. We should all just be like this, and then she'll be very confused.
Podcast ended.
It's like
Podcast
imagine
ended.
people
It's
tuning
actually nap
into
time.
the podcast. Snap time, guys.
I love a good nap time, actually.
How's life outside of streaming, Flassy? You settled into your house now? Because I know you had some issues going on.
The house stuff got a little complicated, so
Oh, yeah?
I ended up playing hardball with them. I mean, I'll be completely honest. They're a little bit greedy. They just like they wanted more money, even though like the offer was really, really good. And so, now it's like, I was like, all right, we'll see what happens after.
Hello,
Oh my god, it's
Greetings.
him.
hello, guys.
There.
I'm sorry,
Hello.
I had to eat. I was really hungry. My quick play game took like 15 minutes, so I was a bit behind schedule, but I'm here now.
It's all good.
Did I
I'll
miss
never
anything?
forgive you.
Oh my
You
god,
disgust
please
me.
forgive me.
SK died. That's what you missed. You can see
SK did
she's
die.
gone to heaven.
SK's kill.
Where were you when SK was killed? I was trying to
yeah.
explain Sarma to them, and then Flats was saying that I was saying Sugma.
Your Flats wasn't buying it.
Necros. He's out again.
What? What? So, are you talking to me? What would you say?
You do know what Sugma is, right?
Sorry.
You know what's
Sugma? Oh, no, I have no idea. What does Sugma mean? What does it mean?
Oh no. Here we go again.
I give up.
No idea. Never heard about Sugma.
This couldn't go any better.
I quit. I want to.
I'm just setting you up. I'm a homie.
No, I don't. I was just trying to have
He's not
friendly.
gonna do it to me.
I was trying to have friendly conversation with my dear friends. You keep talking about Sugma.
How was your New Year's, well, Boger? Because you were in the UK, right?
I was in Liverpool. Got stabbed 37 times, but I lived.
This below average for
Damn.
being in Liverpool.
No, Liverpool was nice. I liked it. I liked
Yeah,
it
it
more
is
than
expanding.
London.
I hear it's a nice place. Yeah, I hear it's a nice place. I've never been, but
They do love the Beatles.
they fucking love the Beatles.
They love
Beatles
the-
and football. That's kind of the entirety of
It
Liverpool.
was great, and people were really nice.
So I've heard.
Yeah.
Sad we didn't get to do our tradition
No, we didn't. But it's okay. Next year,
next,
Next
year.
It's a
year.
tradition.
celebrating New Year's together.
Yeah, he's done it for 2 years in a row. He'd come to the UK and we'd hang out in London, but this year he went to Liverpool instead.
Too much London.
Wait,
Too much.
isn't like the entirety of the UK like an hour drive?
Not quite. It's not far, but like 4 hours to London to Liverpool, basically from where I live. But I had relatives of my own coming, so I had to
Yeah.
be with them.
4 is like the limit. Like it was like 2. It's like you can make that work. Like 3, you're pushing it. 4, okay, I'm staying home. Like
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, exactly. I would have, especially because it's like for just driving there and back for like New Year's night. So it was like
we keep
4
trading
hours
people.
would be a bit much.
I just watched
Yeah.
SK resurrect and then Necros disappear. Like
Maybe it's
Wait,
the same
SK's back?
person.
Hello.
Doing this. Okay.
Hey, you're like this.
This is what you were left as when you were gone.
Yes, exactly.
I'm back.
Welcome back. Did you get
I
your
can also
snack?
get large.
Really?
Wait.
Oh no.
I was just relaunching
Oh,
it.
wow.
That is, you
I'm
should
sorry,
you should
I-
sit like
listen, I
this.
just-
Hi, Necros.
What?
I can do the same.
Oh god.
Whoa.
Maybe
Big
the pot-
booger.
Mine doesn't have zoom like that, so I kind of have to like.
Just have to go get up real close. Everybody's a hyper zoom podcast, and then Necros' avatar just tiny.
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
it's just Spider-Man. I'm Spider-Man. Hello.
Greetings. Are you
Spider-Man.
ready, everybody? Are you
Hey,
ready
how
to
do
get
I-
going?
Yes.
Eh.
Is Booger mentally ready after playing 18 hours of rank tomorrow? Or yesterday? You guys know he did that, right? He just played 18 hours straight of ranked.
17
He's
actually.
fucking cooked.
I am very cooked. I am actually extremely cooked, but my body might be
Yeah,
cooked,
I
but my
figured.
mind is peak condition.
Nice. So yeah, Boger, you're ready. Flats, you good?
Yeah, I would say I'm good.
SK,
I need 1 minute.
take your minute.
I'm putting everyone's names in the right spot.
Do I need
Yeah, the
to
classic.
write people's names?
The
You
clown.
should.
But everyone
You
knows.
should.
Everyone knows us.
Everyone knows that guy, that Boger guy. They might be confused by the Spider-Man icon, to be fair.
I'm putting my name.
Yeah.
I'm putting my. Nobody knows SK.
I need to
No one
invest in
knows
some
SK
like
on SK
fucking
stream.
VTube avatar type
You
of thing.
should. What would you do for your VTube?
It would probably. I mean, I have to be Spider-Man, right?
But then you get
Probably.
sued and
Yeah.
Oh, true. It would be Arachnid Guy.
that guy from New
Legally
York.
distinct around-
Arachnid guy.
I'm
down with
almost
that.
done.
You get away with
I
that.
just need to put boogers.
Just
Oh.
put like a little bit of like Genji in him, and then it's like
yeah.
allowed
The
to be
his-
copyright. And then yeah, the real ones will know. Booger, what's that in your like? How many games is that? Is that games or is that manga in your?
That's
background?
manga.
Oh, nice. What
He's
do
a
you got
nerd.
there?
I have
Here the doctors have a fun
Vagabond,
podcast.
Akira, Berserk, Gans, Homunculus, Chainsaw Man, Fire Punch, Goodbye Pun Pun.
Oh, this
Uh,
guy's a
Hipster
nerd.
ones. You got all the hipster ones.
I also have normal books as well.
Oh yeah, you actually do read then. You actually can
I,
read,
have I
or you pretend to.
I pretend to be smart.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You just stare at them. You're like, look at the diagrams.
that would be nice if I could read.
Put that to use.
Yeah, fortunately,
Okay, I'm ready. But I'm eating French
know.
toast, so you're gonna see my mouth go like.
that's great.
That's awesome. I'm here for that, to be honest.
You should have said nothing and then just like
We just see SK like a fish,
just munching.
Like a fish.
just breathing. Okay, we good then? Let's do it. All right, guys. Welcome for another episode after a long time of the Group Up podcast. We're here for the great rivals debate, and it has been a while since we left you, but I brought pretty much the stacked lineups I could bring to discuss the newest gaming sensation that is Marvel Rivals. Let me introduce my guests who need no introduction, and we will get right into it. In the top right is my man Flats. Flats, what's up?
Hello, it's been a while. I took a little break for a bit, and I'm glad to be back.
Glad to have you back. Glad to be back myself. It's been a long break. I've started getting comments on my older podcast episodes, so like, when's the next episode, SCB? Why aren't you done a great rivals debate? So here you go, commenters. You finally got what you wanted. In the top left, mogging, as you probably will for the majority of the stream when he's not talking, especially, is Boger. Boger, what's up?
Hello, I play Marvel Rivals. I play straight.
17 hours apparently yesterday.
17 hours with Doki. I have addiction, and this is our what was it? Marvel Rivals Addicts Anonymous.
Mm.
We're talking about our addictions.
Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see if we can get you to kick it. But in the bottom right, with the Spider-Man icon, you'll see him light up occasionally on the stream. Is Necros? Necros, what's up?
Nothing. I'm feeling pretty good about this, man. I mean, I don't know. I've just been like super addicted to the game. I was actually checking the other day how many hours I had streamed this month, and it was around like 300 and
Yeah.
something.
There's a slight caveat there.
Well, okay. I mean, without
Actually
this-
rolled.
well, you know what? Without that, it would probably be over 200 still.
SK, tell them how many
No.
hours you have honest work hours.
266.
266.
266.
I'm like 250.
I have
or
to be
something.
close to that. I have to be close.
It's
Well,
bad.
if you wanted authoritative opinions, here's some people who've no-lifed Marvel Rifles for about a month straight. So let's
That's
round
us.
out, by the way, in the bottom left. SK, what's up?
Hi, I'm eating French toast right now.
Mm-hmm. Is it purple by any chance? Because that's I feel like that would fit the aesthetic.
No, it's cinnamon.
As long as it tastes good.
Mm.
As long as it makes you happy. Okay. Well, it has been a while since I spoke to any of you, certainly about gaming topics. So as we always do on this podcast, we'll begin
Did you introduce
with
Flats?
just your... Oh. Yeah, he was first.
Oh, okay. I forgot.
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
took-
already
I was
forgot
just,
about
I
that.
was
You're
making
definitely
sure,
correct.
Flats, that you were introduced and not being ignored. That is,
You're a good friend. I appreciate you. Just don't
Thank you.
ever forget me again.
That was vaguely threatening, but yeah, fair enough.
package from
Um,
Flats, United States package. I'm like, whoa, what
Don't
is this?
forget So, as we always do, we'll begin with just some opening thoughts, your general feelings. So, guys, yeah, I don't think I've ever asked you this question before, but your general feelings on Marvel Rivals. So that Boger cannot forget him, we'll have Flats go first again. Flats, what are your general feelings on Marvel Rivals? Give me a minute's breakdown.
Oh, minute. That's gonna be hard.
A
Okay,
minute or
speed round.
less. Minute or less.
I mean, the game is phenomenal. It's amazing that we are a month in and the game has, at least like meta-wise, has changed like 4 or 5 times. There's constantly new texts, new things being discovered. Characters that everyone thought was really bad the first week end up being found out like pretty good. And then like every week since then, it seems like a new one. Like my prediction is Captain America is going to be the next one that people figure out that's actually low key, like pretty good. Just people haven't figured out how to play them yet. And it's just like almost like there's always more to explore. There's more to do. And we're not even at season 1 yet. We're just 4 more characters. It is both an amazing experience, but also kind of stings a little to see this game have all these amazing features and all these amazing things that I know that myself and many others asked for in Overwatch for years and always got given the runaround on can't be done or it'd take too long or whatever. And it's all there and it all works and it's all good. And I'm just enjoying the ride for right now.
I mean, Flat's already... that's a really great summary, by the way. Thank you for that. He's already put a pin in the elephant in the room, is that we'll eventually, as we are all Overwatch originators or originally Overwatch streamers, we'll have to get to that part of the inevitable discussion at some point. But Boger, how about you? How have you felt about Marvel Rivals gaming?
It's good. It's fun. Slightly buggy sometimes, and the voice chat needs work. But I think the game is really fun to play. I think the fact that it maintains like 90% of its player base 1 month in is really cool, actually. It means a lot. And I think the characters themselves, depending what character you play, they have so much you can learn, and there's still things people are learning even at 1 month in. It's just so cool to just sit there and one trick. Because if I play tank, right? I play tank, and I learned Strange really well. If I'm bored from Strange, I can sit and grind Groot, and Groot has so many different things you can learn. Or I can go learn Black Panther or Spider-Man, and there's like infinite potential to just keep having fun. And it was cool. And like Flat said, I think the fact that they did so many things that we asked for in Overwatch, and they did it immediately, says a lot. So I'm pretty happy, pretty excited. And I can play this game for 17 hours straight without I mean, I did have a mental breakdown, but without getting severely bored. So I think that says something.
When it comes to you, Boger, I think the mental breakdown is not really a control variable because it's just like that's happening everywhere. You know, like you're doing that when you're playing Life Weaver, you're doing that when you're playing Junkrat. I think that's just.
But it's different
regardless
times of
game state.
mental breakdown because I'm having fun with this mental breakdown, but I was not having fun playing Junkrat, right? So, you see the differences here?
That's progress. That's progress. At least you're
Yes.
having fun while you're.
I feel like a
breaking down.
recovering addict.
Probably will never recover. But in the bottom right is another recovering addict, so Necros. How have you felt overall from Marvel
Honestly,
Rivals?
ever since I got to try it in the alpha, like when I first tried the game, I was like, whatever. I'm like kind of bored of Overwatch. Let me just try this game. I honestly didn't expect to like it as much as I ended up liking it, and pretty much after that, I was just like super hooked. But yeah, overall, I mean, I think the game is like really fun. I think it feels super polished. Maybe sometimes a little bit buggy. A few things need to be ironed out, as Boger said, right? But overall, like I knew when I first played it, I knew this is not another Paladin. This is another Overwatch, you know, in terms of like polish, right? And it really does sort of like just the way the characters play, it sort of gives me that early Overwatch 1 excitement where people were kind of like hyped to like combo stuff, you know, like I don't know, grab, dragon, all that sort of stuff. Like it's all sort of like it's so fun to like theory craft about the game, right? And I don't know, I just think it's really fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think that sentiment is one I've seen a lot online, and I think we'll dedicate more time to that. But I think you've already brought up a good topic there about it's brought hype that I haven't seen in gaming for a while. Because there's been other games, and we'll talk about them as well. But like Deadlock, for example, all of you played that, I know.
Yeah.
But it seems like Marvel Rivals is here to stay. SK, how's your toast?
Hello.
And how's your feelings on Marvel Rivals?
I stopped eating because I got self-conscious that my mouth was moving. Marvel Rivals, I'm so addicted. The reason I have 266 hours in the last 30 days streaming is not because I'm on the grind for streaming. It's because I'd be playing 266 hours even without streaming, so I might as well click the start button. During the alpha and beta, I actually did not have fun at all. I played it for like 6 hours and I was like, all right, this is fine. But
I
all the
remember
new
that
characters-
actually. I remember that you DM'd me about
Yeah.
it, and you were like, "I don't know if I
I
want
was
to play
like-
Marvel Rivals." And I was like, "Give it some time."
I don't know. I think it was the characters, the new characters that came out, just like did it for me. They're so fun, and I play all of them. They're so freaking cool. And then what else? I still feel like people haven't figured out the game yet, and I'm wondering how long it's gonna last before we optimize the fun out of it, or if that'll ever happen. Because oh my gosh, I'm already playing against some really annoying things and ranked like triple support, everything's unkillable, infinite support ults. I'm going crazy. Yeah, that's all I got.
No, again, you're bringing up a good point that we'll definitely dwell on later. It's the charming period, around the honeymoon period, it's the fun period. We'll have to see how that lasts and how that progresses. But yeah, let's transition then into that discussion of like the wider gaming ecosystem, because a few of you've already mentioned that like the feel of it has been one that you haven't really felt in a while. Like that it captures some sort of excitement that maybe we haven't seen since, at least we personally might not have seen since early Overwatch 1. So my question to you is why? Why does Marvel Rivals seem to stand out as somehow different than some of these other competitors? Like I said, Deadlock is another one that people were hyped about, but now it feels like all of a sudden the sort of the train has hopped off onto Marvel Rivals and it seems to be here to stay. So why Rivals? I'm going to go to Boger first this time. Boger, why has Rivals created some sort of secret sauce, or has it? Is it a false dawn?
So the characters are really popular outside of the franchise itself, so Marvel Rivals itself. So everybody knows Spider-Man, everybody knows all these characters, and people just want to play them, and they're really excited to play as Spider-Man. And for example, Doctor Strange, Captain America, whatever else. Second of all, I think the game is a lot more accessible than Deadlock. Deadlock, you need to learn, like you need to read a 1,000-page guide to actually understand the basics. That's not fun for a single father of 5 that came back from the oil rig. And Marvel Rivals, you just go in, you play Jeff the Land Shark, you hit 5-man ult, spit them out of the map or jump off, and instant dopamine. Awesome. I love it, right? Press ult on Psylocke, you kill 5. Awesome. Love it. So that is fun. And all of the characters are really hot and pretty. That is also another factor. It is 100% a factor. It is a 2,000% a factor. It's just nice to look at. The art style is nice. The characters are pretty. They're hot. They're handsome. They're muscly. Whatever else, and people like that. And that's why, games like League also are really popular. If the characters in League were 50% less attractive, I feel like League wouldn't be as popular. I said it.
There's some stats.
Same with
Boger.
Genshin.
50% straight. I calculated.
He did the maths on this one. SK, go ahead. You said you were going to say the same thing, that the characters are hot.
Oh yeah, the characters are really hot.
Do you think that
I wasn't-
contributes to the popularity?
Oh, for sure. I wasn't planning on playing at all until I saw the clip of Necros being like, "What?"
It's
When
your fault,
Psylocke
Necros.
goes
It's your
out.
fault. It's your fault. It's your fault.
I mean, in my defense, what was that zoom in? They knew what they were doing, right?
Thank
There's
you
no
so
way it would
much for
zoom
the
in
prime
that
evidence.
exact angle, right? Like, come on.
Yeah.
They knew what they were doing. Man.
For context,
Yeah,
there was a
ironically.
clip of the Psylocke vengeance skin with her butt, and when the game starts, she turns around and the camera zooms in on her butt. Yeah. But other than that,
So-
I don't know. The game just has some secret sauce. Like, I cannot get enough of this game. It is so fun. There's so much to learn and so much to figure out.
So comparing it to, because you put out some great Deadlock content, SK, and you streamed it a lot and you grinded it a lot. So like compared to let's say Deadlock or obviously Overwatch, what is different compared to those? Boger already mentioned that maybe Deadlock is a bit more
Be right
complicated.
back.
Sure.
My issue with Deadlock. Sorry, let me chew.
Chew away, chew away. She be chewing. Audio listeners, she be chewing. She be chewing.
It's like a
Boger's
fish.
disappeared. Flats is laughing. The fish.
Like a
left.
fish.
It truly, that's what you could picture. A really cute purple fish, guys, with some
Okay.
like butterfly pin
Okay.
clips. Go ahead, SK.
My problem with Deadlock compared to Rivals is that it's a MOBA. You sit there and like you have to farm up. You have to farm like 50k souls. You have to have a really good game in order to get your dopamine. And if you didn't do well in the early game, you're completely useless by the end of it. And if you don't know MOBA style stuff, or you don't know how to farm, or I don't know, someone just destroys you in lane, the next 40 minutes of your life are ruined. You can't play the game. You like 1 million shot somebody, and then they turn around and they just delete you in one bullet. It's like really brutal. But in Marvel Rivals, I can go 0-7 and then hit that power spike and kill like 15 people, you know? It's very arcadey and like instant, you know? Always something happening. You're only dead for like 10 seconds compared to a minute in Deadlock. Yeah. And I think Overwatch did have the same feeling at the very beginning, but they kind of fumbled. Everyone kind of, I don't know. It seems like everyone optimized it too hard, but at the same time, maybe that was a flaw with the game or with updates. Who knows? I'm very curious to see if Marvel Rivals will get that effect or not.
We'll have a more dedicated, in-depth section on the big comparisons to make to Overwatch. But those are some great points I think you've made about maybe some of these other games. They don't have maybe the clutch factor, if you want to call it that, just that feeling of always being able to get into the game and always being able to turn it around and have an impact. That, as you said, sometimes MOBAs don't really offer that. I'll go to Necros and then Flats. Necros, what's the secret sauce? Why is Marvel Rivals so popular?
Okay, well, it's as Boger said. I feel like the Marvel IP is just the perfect segue for like casual players to get into the game because they know these characters exist, right? And it just gives them a chance to like be those characters. And plus, I think it's because another really important part is I think the devs are just like super passionate. Like clearly they're also really big Marvel fans, and I feel like they've done such a good job at like sort of capturing what it feels like to play these characters in the actual game. And also another reason why this game sort of is doing way better than Deadlock is, in my opinion, is because Deadlock is way harder and this game is a lot more approachable for casual players. That's why they have like all those different metas at low elo. That's why Iron Fist is literally the most broken hero in the game. You know what I mean? And Scarlet Witch ult is so overpowered, and Thor ult is like
It's true though. Are you saying it's not true?
I mean, yeah, of course it is true. Iron Fist is really OP. But yeah, my point is like it's like I think it's really approachable for casual players, and all like it's the Marvel IP as well. And the game is like, yeah, as I said, is easy. And it's fun. And that's the most important part. I think this game is like there's a clear focus on the game being fun first and foremost. The balance is a bit wonky, but I think all of the characters feel super satisfying.
Balance is wonky. Listen. It's wonky, but that's why we have hero bands.
Exactly.
If there were no hero bands, the game would be so repetitive. I feel like.
That's true. I wouldn't be playing. If I had to,
hate it.
exactly. If we had to play against Hawkeye and Hela every single game, it would be absolutely just unbearable, in my opinion. Yeah, that's why I think about it. Why it's so good.
So Necros brings up two great points, which I'll segue into the next section for you, Flats, which is that let's talk first about the balance, right? Because I think one thing that I've seen as a discussion point online, and in fact, I think a lot of you guys chimed in. I saw Boger kind of switch sides on this one. It was something like role lock, right? So initially there was this discussion of does Rivals need a role lock because this open queue format is a bit too like unbalanced, it's a bit too crazy, the games are too variable. And I think the same philosophy can be approached to the balance of it. It's like, do we need to fix things quicker? Does things need to be tuned? But it seems like Marvel Rivals' approach is actually we want the wackiness. We want a little bit of silliness. We don't want to sanitize it down to like a role lock. So talk to me about that. Does this actually show like a different way? Like seems like games try to be more competitive, but is this a better way to be a bit crazy?
That's such a complicated question, but also like a great question at the same time, because I think.
Thank you
I mean,
so
from
much.
the
Appreciate
beginning,
it.
I am a bringer of chaos. I want to see this game do absolutely
Favorite tier
everything
one.
the opposite of
Notifications
the
are turned
timeline
off.
we saw with Overwatch, for example, with roll queue, for example, with balancing, for example, all these things, right? And for so far, I think it's going to work because
Wait, 2 years is actually crazy.
we will optimize the fun out of
Thank
it
you,
so
Marshmallow.
fast, and we would have with Hello Hawkeye instantly. And I think the game wouldn't have been enjoyable, and I probably wouldn't have even wanted to even play ranked very long after the first week or two. But you know, with hero
so much
bands
for the
being
5
in
gifted,
game,
appreciate it.
you can cater the experience
had
to
to turn
what
off
you
alerts,
want
guys.
every game by banning those heroes out. Now, every once in a while, you'll ban out other characters
Thank you,
that you know
Jerome.
are like the second level, maybe annoying. You know, you think of like your Iron Man, Hulk, maybe or something, and it's like, well, now you're gonna have to play against Hello Hawkeye, and it's like, ooh, whoa, I'm glad I don't have to play against that often, but like, you know, in small dosages, it's not too bad. But the thing that I love most is an example, like I use this as like an example when I was talking about, is like life is kind of like playing like Detroit Become Human, but you only get to play it once, and so you don't get to see all the other options. This is like the time we get to see what would happen if like we just went with all the opposite choices. And so I want to see what happens. And so with things like roll lock, right? We saw big queue time problems with Overwatch, and like that, like real talk, people do not want to sit in queue for 10 minutes. Like I literally don't give a fuck how many times your favorite streamer tells you that they want extremely balanced matchmaking. They want to have everybody on their team on the same rank and everyone on the enemy team the same rank, and they'll sit in queue for 15 minutes and wait. Nobody wants to do that shit. Like the reason you do that is because like you play the game all day long. Most players do not want to sit there for more than like 2 minutes max. And even in high ranks, like now, like maybe not like top 10 or top 50 or anything, because I haven't been up there, but like at least in Eternal or like bottom of like top 500, it's like almost instant queue, maybe sometimes a minute. And it's great. I would much rather that experience. And even just being able to like flex and do whatever, like at any moment is kind of nice. Like, you know, you don't really need the 222, but there is a lot of 222 pilled people. Like they will scream if they don't get the 222. And so I'm sorry, it's a long-winded answer, I guess, to this question, but I think hero bans is genuinely the thing that keeps it all together. And the balance being everybody is powerful and OP in their own way works because it's great for casual players, especially. It's great for everybody because they have fun. But the thing that holds it together for the really sweaty gamers who want to play ranked all day, which are going to be most of your streamers, most of your content creators, most of your competitive gamers, is hero bans. That holds it together because in Overwatch, we would solve the meta within a week or two. And we would have done it again in Rivals. I'm 100% confident we would have figured it out within a week or two. But hero bans changed the entire game. And I'm going to leave it with this and let someone else take it. Team ups also change it as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you for having a long-winded answer because it's a complicated question, as you said. So I appreciate that. There's a lot of really good points there. Let's take it to SK next. SK, is it like Flats is just a team ups as part of it, hero bands part of it? Where do you want to go? What do you want to feedback on?
Oh, the original question was about roll lock, right?
Yeah, it was just about, yes, exactly. Go ahead.
I don't think they should add roll lock. Not at all. For one, the queue times will be impossible to solve. And two, you can really just run anything and win. I think maybe the only requirement you could argue is that you have to have 2 strategists. But even 4 DPS, 2 strategists, or like 4 tanks, 2 strategists, I can win. I've gone against a team that was running 3 they're called Vanguards. 3 Vanguards and 3 strategists, and they were completely unkillable. It was really cool. Or you get into a game where everyone plays strategists, and then you just run 3 of them. Like, why not? It's really good. It's cool. It's awesome. Yeah.
So you feel like that helps the popularity of the game, is that by allowing all these options, unlike, let's say, going for like a roll queue, people's experience is just fundamentally more fun somehow.
Yeah, it adds so much variety, and it also solves the queue time issue. Like, it really would be infinite queue times. I think Overwatch learned that, and that's what got us into the... I keep on talking about Overwatch. That's what got us into the whole 5v5 or 6v6 thing, because roll queue was implemented, and it introduced the impossible queue time problem.
I mean, I don't blame you for talking about Overwatch. We spent a better part of a decade trapped in that jail cell, so you're understandable to have the PTSD from it.
No voices. No voices.
Necros, I'm gonna take it to you, and then Boger. What do you
about a rollout?
A decade of my life.
Also, so the wider question is it better for the game to be unbalanced? You kind of brought this up as well, where it's like, is it better for the game to be a bit wacky, a bit unstructured, the way that my rivals did, or is it better, or is that line that Overwatch went down of like, okay, 2-2-2, we're gonna try and balance things like well? What's working?
I think I think it's better for the game for it to be more wacky because it's like more chaotic and more fun if everything is like, you know, just imbalanced. But as you said, okay, so in low elos, I feel like this happens less where people are just in low elos, people are just playing like whatever they want, right? In high elos is where it really matters when stuff is like super overtuned, and that's why the hero bans help a lot. And to answer the role lock question, I feel like that also depends on who you ask. I feel like
Thank you so much for tier 1.
It matters less because I feel like most of my games are always people flexing in high elo. I feel like most of the complaints for the low elo for role lock are from low elo players where they have like 6 DPS or something like that. It just doesn't happen in high elos. And I really would like to see this game not have any role lock because I feel like it limits creativity. There's obviously so many problems like queue times and creativity stuff.
Do you think it's like do you think it's an inevitable path to some extent? Like, do games have to do if they're going to be quote unquote competitive? Because
no, I don't think so.
Go ahead.
I think it's also really like it doesn't have to be only competitive. A game can be both fun and competitive. Overwatch went too far into the competitive route and they forgot about what makes the game fun. I feel like throughout the years they've just sort of removed all of this wacky interactions in efforts of just making the game more quote unquote competitive, right? And I didn't really like that throughout the years. Rivals has so many more nice interactions, I suppose, between the heroes.
I'm
gonna let Flats interject before I go to Boger. Go ahead, Flats.
I'm sorry, Boger. I didn't mean to jump over. I want to hear your thoughts on this, Necros. So I watched a video of do you know who his Watson is? Apex.
Maybe.
He was like a pro player. Yeah, pro player. He did like he was like rank 1. There was like a bunch of challenges him did with Hal. Yeah, in Apex at the time. Basically, he came in with a video recently that talked about how Apex went from being a super competitive game to like, or it was like a casual competitive game. Then they leaned into the casual. Then they leaned into the competitive. Then they went back to the casual. And I wonder, you know, it made me think about Overwatch a little bit. And it's like I agree with you, but also I think it's just too confusing to the average, like to the player base, where you don't know what you're getting into. And Overwatch has changed up 3 or 4 times. And I remember me and you, SPB, sitting on this podcast in 2022, talking about the best way to play Overwatch these days is a casual experience. Don't take it too serious. Just go in, play what you want, play a few hours every week. Don't go super hard. Have a good time. Overwatch changed that, and they leaned really hard into the competitive side again. And then when they started leaning into the competitive side, they pissed a lot of people off with that. But also, they didn't even make the competitive players happy. Like they weren't even doing the things that made those players happy anyways. So you pissed off both groups of people, and both of them think the other one is actually the one that's getting preferential treatment, and both of them don't get shit.
Necros, I'll give you a chance to respond. Boger's patiently waiting.
I feel like that's true. Wait, what exactly was your question? Like,
well, I guess as Flats, go ahead, Flats. You want to summarize your thought there?
Yeah, I guess the question is like, I think that players want to know what their experience is when they're getting into a game.
True,
are they getting into a game for a
Sorry, what was the
fun,
question?
just to have a good time experience, or are they going into like sweat? This is going to be a super competitive game.
Bro.
You know, like I want to take this seriously versus just having a good time with it.
And the mistake that potentially Overwatch and Apex made is that they bounce between the two too often. Like they didn't stick to one.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely a mistake to like swap between them. I mean, I don't know. I think there's like a nice sweet spot where they can make both people happy, and it's definitely like a challenge to find out this sweet spot. But I do think that it exists, and I think Rivals. Don't you guys agree that Rivals has done like a pretty good job where I feel like the game is really, really fun casually, but it's also super fun competitively.
For now,
the way they do it is good.
It's really early in the game. You can't
That's
like.
true.
Like, can I mock Boger too?
Go
What
for
did
it.
I do?
Yay! Okay, I want to say I feel like Overwatch has constantly put out patches that kind of dumb things down or reduce the skill of certain heroes, or remove interactions or cool text, to just make it simpler. And I've seen the complete opposite with Rivals, and that makes me happy.
Do you want to, for someone like myself who maybe isn't familiar with what you're saying, like, and I can imagine the Overwatch parts, but do you want to give me like some examples of what Rivals have done? Because like with Overwatch, we could say like the Genji ledge dash, for example, of a tech that got taken away, or patches that we. So what are you kind of referring to with
Watch
Rivals?
me
It's on the tip of
get
my
my
tongue.
delivery
I think it's
when it's my time to
just
talk.
how the heroes
That'll be so
interact with each
funny,
other. I
'cause
just
I'm
think
waiting
it's
for the
really
call.
fun. There's like a lot of goof. Like think about like all this sort of stuff you can do.
After
with
20
Strange
minutes
Portal.
of waiting,
I think that's like
I
the
just
stuff,
get a
like,
call.
It's like it's really fun for casual players, but it's also really interesting competitively, right? It's that sort of stuff that I'm referring to with that.
Right, because it has like a global cooldown, right? Like it's such a long, it's like minutes for this cooldown. You might not use it more than once a round, but it's like kind of wacky and it works. And also you can transfer between rounds, so you can start the next round of like a control point immediately, ulting someone. So it's uncompetitive in its nature, but it sort of gives it some sort of flavor.
Like also I have a really good example. It's that stupid thing that Boger always does with Strange Portal, where he like he flies really high and then he drops the portal on the ground, and then he uses the momentum off of that, like of him dropping into it, to ult and essentially bunny hop into the backlines. It's like the silliest thing ever, but it actually has competitive application. That sort of stuff.
I love Strange
like
Portal. It's great.
Yeah,
Amazing.
It's great. But yeah, I guess that would be my example.
Yeah,
Anything
it's
you wanna
off
add?
the tip of my tongue. I remember now. There's so many like
Take care, Pollard.
like Star-Lord ult in order to you can shoot and cancel the animation if you left click an ult at the same time, or like the Spider-Man B-hop tech, or like the Spider-Man grapple cancel to do more damage or whatever, or I had one more.
Wolverine rocket kidnap.
Yeah, what was
That sort of stuff.
Or,
It's so fun,
rocket,
right?
where
I love
even
that
if
sort
you
of.
swap off, your teammates still keep the armor packs and the jump boost.
Well,
I
gang.
feel like Overwatch would have patched all of this stuff out within the day, or like within the week.
They patched out everything
Yes.
fun. The
But
best way.
is some of that our fault though? Because we do, like, the online community does whine about these things. Like when Sigma had his weird bug a while back.
Here's
Not
why
me, not
Marvel
my
Rival devs are based. People complained about Rolog. They didn't budge and they said, "Shut up. We're not adding Rolog." Anyways, look at this new heroes we're adding. You can't just budge every time people complain online, because we are stupid and the people playing the game are sometimes stupid and they don't understand. I feel like Marvel Rivals is so unbalanced, so weird, and so fun to play because there's so many possibilities and you can break the game in so many fun ways without it being too game breaking. And it just makes the game fun. Every match feels different. Every match you can do something silly. Like take Strange Portal, for example. Overwatch would never add something like this because you can break the game so hard and you can do so many silly things. And Overwatch doesn't like it when you can throw teammates. And this, like Lifeweaver, I thought it was really funny back in the day pulling people off the map. But they were like, no, you can't have that. Anyways, the best way I can describe Overwatch is right now it's sanitized. It's very sanitized. It's like it runs really well. It plays sometimes fun, but the amount of things that can happen are so limited, and it's just after a few hours you're just bored, right? And every fun interaction we had, Reinhardt, every time he had a fun tech, instantly removed. Genji has fun techs, instantly removed. Echo had a fun tech where she could bunny hop when she got released, instantly removed. And why would you do that? It's just boring. Then you're like, people can't show off the things they've learned. Like the most you can learn in the game is like game sense, aim, positioning, and like basic concepts that you can get really good at. But like in Marvel Rivals, a Black Panther player that has put in 200 hours playing that character will decimate your backline without knowing anything else in the game. And I think that's fun. And I think it's silly. And you get people in game. You get people in game. You get a Storm one trick in your game, and she does something crazy and wins you the game. And you're like, what should happen? Or like a Strange Portal just clutches up by doing something stupid, or you get a Rocket Raccoon jump back on the Wolverine. He just jumps off the map with a tank. That's silly. It's fun. The clip potential in Marvel Rivals is infinite. You see it all the time. The content is infinite, and that's what I always said for Overwatch. Like beginning when I started playing the game, I used to take it very seriously and very competitively. But when I was much younger and much stupider to understand the intricacies of what makes a game fun. From my perspective, when I played the game competitively, I wanted it to be more competitively balanced. But now I understand that aiming to make everything balanced is going to sanitize the game and make it way less fun to play and make content from. Just like on Twitter, on TikTok, on Instagram, anywhere on YouTube, you just see so many funny, silly videos about the most stupid things. Jarvis, clip that. Strange portals, like 90% of the time, like just doing stupid things. Like I watched somebody place a strange portal above the spawn door when they're leaving, and Spider-Man uppercut them all off the map at the beginning of the game.
I saw that too.
That is insane. That is so funny. That is so funny. That is so funny. And Overwatch doesn't have that. Overwatch is like, you go in, you know what to expect. Always the same things happen, and then you log off, and that's it. And that's what pains me, because Overwatch in the beginning was Marvel Rivals the way it is right now. Yeah. It was silly and it was fun, and the game was breaking all the time, and people did funny tech, and Genji players were sitting there ruining people's lives, but it was fun.
Me. That was me. He's talking about me. Yeah, I think all of those things were removed throughout the years. Yeah, no, I just want to say, like, the Overwatch used to be like that. That's why this game is so, like, awesome. It's because it just has the things that Overwatch has that removed it throughout the years. All the silly interactions.
And do you guys think that the devs have kind of learned those lessons that watching Overwatch? Because is there a potential dark path that they walk down where, you know, let's say a year from now, they do make some of these decisions to sanitize the game or remove some of these things, or, you know, people might just figure shit out, right? Like maybe that despite hero bans, despite all this, people just grind the game to a point of being boring, and then the devs are gonna have to make some decisions. Do you see like a dark timeline? I'll take it to Flash.
I want to interject here because I've met the developers. I'm the only person here that has talked to them in real life, and we played against them.
Okay, flex.
Yes, flexing.
Flex.
But the reason why I'm saying it is because I had normal, you know, like interactions with them. They're all ex-Overwatch players, or at least a lot of them played Overwatch, and a lot of them had the same, you know, complaints as us. And I talked to them, and they're like, I feel like they're trying to make their own version of the game that is more silly and more goofy and more fun. And I do believe that inevitably, at some point in the future, we'll get to where you're saying, where the game gets boring or sanitized or figured out. But right now, it's really goofy. And I think that's fun. And I think it's cool. Anyways, Flats, you can continue.
No, I'm glad you said that, because I've never thought this, but when Rivals came out, like, all my comment sections were filled with this, where people were saying,
hello,
like, it's kind of weird. Like, this game has a lot of things that, like, specifically I've talked about in the past, like gripes I've had with Overwatch, like things that are in this game that are fixed. And also, there was also the stream that me and Necros did where we got to play a lot of a couple of the characters early and get to show them off, and it was a good time. And like, I've never got to speak to the devs. I'm not like in any program. I'm not in any creator program. I'm in no Discords, anything like that. Like when I did that, it was like strictly through my agency. So I've never spoken to them my entire life. But even through that, we had literally the funniest interactions. Like, they were just a good time, where I had this this actual beef with player 6, where we would literally drop everything we were doing to go to the corner of the map and 1v1 and fight every time. And it was peak hilarity. But my comment section was all filled with like, that's really weird, Flats. Do you notice like there's a lot of things in this game like that you've wanted for years? And it's like, I wonder, like, and like, I'm not saying this, I'm just reiterating things that I read, but I did reflect on it and think about it. I never came to a conclusion on anything, but just I thought about it, where it's like, I wonder if they've just been sitting watching all of us for years make content and talk about things about the game, things we didn't like or things that we wanted, and we're like, got ahead of the curve, because this game does have a lot of similarities. And when you have a game that you can look at and be like, hey, this game did a lot of great things, but it also had a lot of fuck ups, it can be a warning to your future, where if you're not careful, you could go down the same path. And so I like that they stick to their guns, like Boger said before, because whether you like a decision or not, I will always respect somebody who comes into the room and says, I disagree with you because X, Y, Z. And it's like, okay, you either got good points there, and it's like, you know what, we're gonna have to agree to disagree, or it's like, I just disagree with you because of these reasons. And it's like, if they truly believe that they're doing the right thing and they stick to that and they stick to their game plan, you can always respect that more than anything else. Because I mean, Boger makes a good point. Sometimes Overwatch was a little reactionary sometimes. Honestly, I wouldn't even blame them for that. I think they had to be reactionary because of what has happened to that company over the last few years and what they've done. So I don't even fault them for that. But I have hope that Rivals will be just fine.
I guess the point that is important is like you got to stick on the right issues, and that kind of is the secret sauce, I suppose, of making a good game. Is that lots of game developers will stick on an issue. Like famously, Jeff Kaplan stuck on anti-hero bans, right? Like Jeff was very much like no, there will be no hero bans, and that's my call, and fuck you guys. I had that conversation with him where he's like, fuck you guys, you don't know what you're talking about when you say you want hero bans. And now we've seen a set of developers be like, no, actually, we really believe in open queue. We really believe in hero bans, no matter what you guys are saying. And they stuck with it, and that decision turned out to be correct. But I guess, again, I'm not trying to be negative, but I do want to bring up potential downfalls and earmark them. And I'll take it either SK or Necros, either of you guys, if you have anything to add on. Is there a dark timeline where they make a decision like this, where they stick on something and they're like, no, you guys are wrong. We think this is good for the game, and actually we're gonna be yelling at the clouds like, why didn't you listen to us?
Sorry. I want to say it's inevitable that they're gonna mess up. That just happens. But I wonder whether they will walk back on the mess up, because I think the biggest issue with Overwatch is whenever they put out something that was bad, they would never, ever, ever in a million years revert the change that they put out. Instead they would try and figure out a way to fix it, but they would never just undo it.
So
I think they got better towards the last year, though. I think they made a lot of stupid.
Overwatch 2,
yeah,
for sure. In Overwatch 2, for sure. But in Overwatch 1, oh no, never.
So you think that it's going to come down to when these devs have this moment, they're going to have to walk it back, be willing to walk it back, and actually quickly realize their mistake.
Yeah, or I don't know, or figure out a way to fix it. Instead of being, you guys just need to figure it out.
Oh, wow, that one hurts.
That was a great impression, honestly. Necros, how about you? You were saying something.
Well, I definitely want to say that I think this game, like the way, like some of the features in the game, it definitely feels like it was just made by a bunch of like pissed off Overwatch players. Like a lot of the things in the game do feel that way. But do I think the game is gonna go down a dark path? I think so, but I feel like, I don't know about you guys, but I like the fact that the devs are just super confident when it comes to like realizing their plan, right? It sort of instills a sense of hope in me that they know that they're doing the right thing, and I believe in them. Like if they believe in them and the game is working really well, then I believe in the devs. I believe that they are going to cook. Right?
That's good. I mean,
I
it's
think
good
we'll see how much they cook with the season 1 balance changes. When that one comes out, that's when we
that's
know.
gonna be a big one.
That's when 1,000 buffs to Hell and Hawkeye, 1 million nerfs to Spider-Man.
Oh no.
10 million buffs to Wolverine.
Oh yes.
Make SK able to play Psylocke whenever she wants to.
Well, these hero bans will keep that one in check.
Oh.
So let's move on then, because we obviously we can't escape talking about Overwatch, right? It's what we know, and I think it's relevant in a discussion about a game that's clearly so heavily influenced by Overwatch. So we do bring that comparison point in. There's a few, you guys have already alluded to it, but there was a few big picture decisions that they went the other way with Overwatch, right? And we kind of already alluded to them, but 6v6, open queue, hero bans. Having played them all in Marvel Rivals now, do you kind of reflect on them differently? Like, which do you think were the right calls, and which do you think are actually didn't matter? Like, let's say you think, actually, I don't really care if it was 6v6 or 5v5. It's actually just the other things that made it work. Like, which points do you think were good, and which points do you think were bad? I'll take it to Boger first.
About Overwatch in general? Or like
let's say these three major decisions, right? Hero ban, 6v6, and open queue. Like, which were good decisions, and which were bad decisions? between rivals and Overwatch? Like, what do you reflect on?
Back in the day, I was a really big supporter of Roku because the same reasons why people want Roku and Marvel Rivals. It was just really annoying dealing with having no supports or no DPS. There were so many games, even in high elo, where we'd have like 5 tank players. I'm like, oh my god, bro, we just lose this game. And all of the tank players would be amazing in the game, but like nobody could play DPS or anything or supports, and we would be at a disadvantage. So that kind of sucked. But I think, now that I think about it, those times with Roku and like it being added to the game, I think it severely diminished how silly the games could be and how fun they could be. Because I think it's hard to explain, but the potential for fun with no Roku, the ceiling is much higher and the lows are much lower without having Roku, like with OpenQ. And oh, I'm getting a call. I'll be right back. Sorry,
Busy
guys.
man, businessman. Oh, it says food. Okay. Flats, how about you?
Okay. Sorry, I was so interested in his thoughts that now I'm like, okay, all right. All right. Let's start with it was the 3 of them. What? Roll Q,
6v6 roll Q and hero bands.
Okay, let's start with roll Q. Let's not get it twisted. Overwatch needed roll Q. Roll Q is what held the game together, because at the time, unfortunately, people forget, Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2 have legitimately, fundamentally different dev teams. Like, I bet there's probably less than 40 people that were from the original Overwatch team that still work there. And I mean, I don't even know how many people they have on the team these days. But the reason why we needed roll Q was, one, we were in GOATs at that time, but we had just come out of Moth meta for like about a year, right? Which, like, everybody loved Dive, right? Everyone loved Dive. It was fun. But what people don't remember is if you didn't have a Mercy on your team, you lost the game. Period. Point blank.
You had over 100% pick rate. Over 100.
Yeah. If you did not have a Mercy, you lost the game at the spawn room. So nobody wanted to play Mercy. Mercy was boring. So you'd always have people social pressuring each other to play this really broken character. You had to play the character. If you don't have the character, you just lose the game. Hero bans would have solved that.
Yep.
Going into GOATS meta, Brig was designed to give support players something new, something fresh after getting feasted on by Tracers for the last year, and Genji's the year before that in 2016. And Jeff was stubborn. He believed that the game will figure itself out and players will figure out the meta and they'll get good. That's why it took 2 years in, like, or was the one time Sam's not here to not ask him how many Brig nerfs there was. I'm sure he's fucking
14 or something.
He's probably streaming right now. He just went 21. Why the fuck did I just say 21? Like, just like something in the void just spoke to him.
He pauses his game and he said, "Wait, guys, I need to say something."
Yeah, and it's like, because they were slow. Like, they were slow with their patches. It took like once every 3 to 6 months, and it wouldn't be enough. And so they didn't know what to do, and they would buff things like Reaper to try to deal with it, because Reaper was the tank buster. Rivals, Wolverine is the tank buster. And it's so genius that he does percentage-based damage based off your health. So he kills a squishy as fast as he kills a tank. And in Overwatch, when they buffed Reaper super hard, he was just steamrolling all the metal ranks. And so one day there was a Reaper nerf, and everyone was like, "Why the fuck did Reaper get nerfed? Reaper's not even good." And I remember that patch, and everyone was just confused. And it was because Reaper was like dominating all of the metal ranks at the time. Rivals kind of thought about that with Wolverine. So I think that OpenQ works in this game a little bit more, because at the moment, it's still early. Even if a character is a must pick, absolutely giga broken, or else we're going to get screwed, we need this character, you can ban them if you don't have someone on your team that plays it at the start screen, because at the start screen, everyone hovers what they want to play. And if they don't hover it, well, then, like, you probably just end up banning it anyways. Because, like, if I load into a game and I don't have a Lord Portrait Hela, I'm banning Hela. If I don't have a Lord Portrait Hawkeye, I'm banning Hawkeye, right? If I load into a game and I have a Lord Portrait Iron Man, well, we're playing Hulk Iron Man. I'm down to go, you know? So it's like, you kind of, and that's another thing. The Lord Portrait's, like, I know it's such a small thing. It's something to work for as a casual player, but even in the competitively, it kind of works. Because you're like, ooh, that guy plays a lot of that character. Like, he's probably pretty good at it. You know, he's got to this rank, has that. Hey, I trust that guy. So open queue, fine. Hero bans literally is gonna keep the whole game together. Without hero bans, I think rivals would have just already kind of fallen off a bit competitively. 6v6 doesn't fucking matter if it was 6v6 or 5v5. The same problem would happen if we're talking Overwatch. Fucking, it's the queue times. It's the queue times more than anything. And I don't want to really. I did a little bit. I went back and played the 6v6 playtest, and like I just wanted to play rivals the entire time. But I gave it a good shot, and I genuinely thought the game felt better with 2 tanks. It genuinely did. I thought it felt much better. But it doesn't matter because you're gonna sit in queue for 10-15 minutes if you're in DPS, and it's like that will kill it faster than anything else. So it's like you have your smallest percentage of players, which are tank players, in every game. Same thing is true in Rivals, by the way. Rivals doesn't have an abundance of tank players. So it's like there's not all these magic spawning tank players. And people always say like, oh, you got to make more fun tanks and make more tanks. Doesn't solve it. It just doesn't. The thing that solved the support problem in Overwatch was they changed the way support plays. It's more active. It's more DPS-y. So it's like you can play DPS and heal at the same time. Rivals, you can kind of do that too, which is why like it's more fun. But actually, like if you actually like more play like the super support like healing style in Rivals, you actually I think it's better than the DPS style. Like that's my kind of like little controversial take so far is I think it's actually better to be like more heal body than doing damage on support at the moment. If you have a good team, like good tanks and stuff. But regardless though, it doesn't matter how many players. I think if Rivals was 5v5 or 6v6 or Overwatch was 5v5, 6v6 doesn't matter. The open queue stuff, we needed role queue in Overwatch 1. In hero bans, I think hero bans is literally the secret sauce.
Can I talk? Also first.
Well, I'm actually gonna interrupt you. Sorry,
you
eat your food.
Can I? No, I'm not gonna eat. I'm not gonna eat it. But I just wanted to show what the food is to Flats.
Yeah, go ahead. Show the food. Because you had a little bit of say. Flats.
Oh, it's not Sarma.
It's Sarma.
What's that?
That actually does look good.
It's with cabbage
Really
leaf.
good.
No, I just wanted to say one thing, and that
Uh-huh.
I think it's less about the big changes, whether or not they're good or bad. I think it's that they keep changing the fundamentals of the game so often that the people that fall in love with, no roll lock and 6v6 and then 5v5, every time they get used to it, they change up the fundamentals, and then people are like, okay, but this is not the game I want to play, and they get a new player base, and new people play it, or some people stay, but a lot of people leave. Anyways, go ahead.
So I'm gonna take it to SK Necros. Unfortunately, you don't have an avatar that lights their face up that makes me know you want to talk. So if you do want to say something, just like start flashing that Discord icon, man. So I know.
Start tapping on the mic just like this, like.
Yeah, just be like SAB, SAB. So I'm gonna take it SK first, and then you Necros. So SK, Flats gave a great summary there. I mean, I think the point that I heard you agree on was role queue was needed. We were kind of talking about the history of Overwatch, right? And Boger was saying that maybe open queue was more fun, and when we went to role queue, we sanitized too much. But you were like, no, we needed role queue. So do you reflect on that now in Marvel Rivals as well?
Yeah, I do feel like. Wait, in Marvel Rivals.
Well, both. Talk about both. Talk about both.
Okay. In Overwatch, we definitely needed role queue. They couldn't figure out how to fix goats. 3 tanks, 3 supports.
Okay, I'm sorry. What do you mean they couldn't figure out the goals? They could have just nerfed the characters. They're always like just a slight bit of nerfs, guys. A little bit.
They could have, but they didn't, and they were never
going
to.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I just like.
It was meta for a year and a half.
It's true, and it's just so annoying because it's like they could have fixed it. Saying that they had to change everything because of goats, I think is silly. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I just want to.
I think that the problem. The difference is that it feels like maybe I'm wrong, and it's been so long, so I could be wrong, but I don't feel like we could get silly with the team comms in Overwatch. Like, in Marvel Rivals, you can run 3 supports, 3 DPS if you want, and still win. Like, it feels good. Or whatever, 1 tank, 3 DPS, whatever, feels good. But in Overwatch, it felt like if you didn't have 2-2-2, or when Ghost was meta, if you didn't have 3-0-3, then it was just over. There was no like every single game was mental torture because you had to try and convince your teammates to play a certain hero or a certain role, and if they didn't, GG. So yeah, at the time I very much wanted role queue. Like I was so excited for it.
is there a future where that happens for Marvel Rivals? Because obviously we're very early in, and Flat said kind of
Maybe.
Eurobans holds it all together. But is there a future where people figure out, okay, this is the optimal thing, and then even when we ban these things, this is the thing you do. Like you have to have 3 strategists or whatever.
So maybe the pro scene right now is like 95% 222 and 5% 132. But in ranked you can run anything. So I don't know. That depends how good we get at ranked. But I mean, even in Overwatch or in any game, like the pro meta is never the same as the ranked meta. In Valorant, the ranked meta is picking duelists, running it down, and killing everyone. There's no team coordination. There's no double smokes, Viper, Omen, slow play, defaulting. In Overwatch, we're not running like coordinated dive. In ranked, it's just everyone's picking whatever they want. You're gonna have a Symmetra one trick. You're gonna have a Junkrat one trick.
Very good points. Necros, I'm open up to you.
All
On
right.
any of this, like, you know, whether you want to talk about like, did we need role queue in Overwatch? Does it work better in Rivals for other reasons? Hero bans, 6v6, go ahead.
I want to talk about 6v6. I think 6v6 is absolutely necessary because I feel like it's what contributes to the chaos, and chaos is extremely fun, right? I actually remember it was towards the end of Overwatch 2, like before Rivals released. I
The
tried.
end?
The end of
He said the end. Overwatch died. The end of Overwatch 2.
It might as well be.
Damn.
For now.
Rest in peace. Can we get some Fs for Overwatch?
Can we get some Fs for Overwatch? But anyway,
2025.
so a lot of people. Yeah, so a lot of people were very adamant about the fact that like it just wouldn't work. Like none of the Overwatch 2 maps would work in 6v6, but it felt so cool to just see them like populated with people. It just feels like, I don't know, the maps just feel incredibly empty with 5 people. With 6, it feels like everything is happening everywhere. It's great, you know, it's fun, it's chaotic. And also, another problem with 5v5 is I feel like it's impossible to make the tank role fun to play as and fun to play against, because you end up with the raid boss tanks. Like, everyone remembers that patch where you just randomly made armor. Instead of reducing what, like 5 damage is like 30%. Yeah, that was not fun for anybody, right? Like, it was impossible. It's just no fun to duel a tank. Whereas in the early days of Overwatch, I'll use Genji as an example because I used to play that hero. If I fought a Winston and if I just absolutely popped off, I could click his head 3 times and that dude was dead. What do you think the odds are of that happening in Overwatch 2? 0, because that's been like 7 shots. It's just not gonna happen, right? But there was like, I really enjoyed those interactions between tanks and DPS in Overwatch 1. Like if the monkey popped off, he could like kind of bubble dance and juke me. But if I popped off, I could absolutely kill him and headshot him. And on top of that, I would get rewarded a lot because you get a lot more ult charge at the time. This is like what's sort of present in Rivals. I feel like tanks are really strong, but you can 1v1 them still. You can absolutely 1v1 them. Are you gonna win? Probably not, because they've got like really good defensive tools and they can just stall forever. But if they mess up, you can kill them, and I like that. I feel like that's what's been lost. So I really like the fact that you know, I feel like that's impossible in 5v5.
And I guess open queue adds to that. Go ahead, SK Boger, one of you.
Yeah.
SK, go ahead.
I want to add to that the chaos.
They don't
want
wanna
to. It feels like
They don't want me to speak, guys.
fights are never
They hate me.
won. Well, like they're won, but
I wanna
when
cry.
someone gets a pick in Overwatch 2, everyone just runs away. And
They fucking hate my Chungus live, bro.
If you fight 4v5, it is over. Like, no matter what. But in Marvel Rivals, someone can die at the start of the fight, and then
I was
it's still
silenced for
winnable.
speaking
Then
the
you kill,
truth.
like 3 of them, and you're like 4v2, and then somehow they all come back, and it's winnable for them, and then you're like 2v6.
I was never a
and then it's
5v5
somehow still
defender.
winnable for you. It's just
My
you never
point
know who's
was
gonna win a fight. There's always a chance. And
that
I think
changing the
that's really
game
cool.
back to 6v6 would just be bad.
That's what adds to the fun. And the
Because
chaos.
people that like 5v5 will be annoyed.
Good point, SK. Boger, you were trying to say something as well.
I was saying that I really enjoy the way Vanguards are in Marvel Rivals compared to how tanks are in Overwatch, because tanks in Overwatch 2 feel like really big DPS characters that are just there to do damage, and I don't want to play tank. I don't want to play damage. I want to play DPS. I want to. Back in the day, with Reinhardt, it was all about the Rein v Rein and outplaying people. Now it's just go in the backline, swing at them, and then
Yeah.
kill them. And fuck, it's boring, okay?
Yeah.
And then on Winston,
It's so bad.
it used to be, you know, I farm the nano boost, I farm I create space. I jump them softly. But now jump in, kill them, and if you don't, you die and you lose the game. And it's like I don't want to play DPS. I want to play tank. That's why I really like Vanguards, because the Vanguards are really like, you can kill the entire team, but for you to kill the entire team, they either first need to misplay and you punish them. Like, tanks are really scary if you make a mistake, or 2, you need to play really well, and that's really fun. But if you make a mistake, you get punished for it. In Overwatch, you either explode instantly or nothing happens because of your mistake. It's so like, I don't know. I agree with Necros a lot. I feel like if I make a mistake and I dive a Genji with Winston, I should get punished for it. But if I dive a Genji on Winston right now, this guy needs to fight me for 30 minutes to even deal half my HP. Like, he genuinely, the only option for a Genji is to run away. And what happens is, it's literally, it's less about who's better and who outplays who. It's a lot more about picking the right character and just doing the one thing it's designed for, and that's it. There's no, like, there's nothing to it. Like, I will play Winston, they'll go Mauga. I'll swap off Winston. Like, I'll go Winston, hard focus the Genji. Genji can't do anything. And then people that actually enjoy these characters, that have a lot of skill ceiling, they can't play them because the enemy team just goes characters that are way easier and get way more value and just counter your existence. So you need to fall in line with the meta. But in Marvel Rivals, it's like, except in really high level play and pro play, Necros could still get value from a dogshit character like Spider-Man, because we can ban characters that counter him, and I can pick Venom to give him another buff, and then Necros can actually do something, and that's really cool because the character is really fun, but it's really hard to get value from.
Necros, you want to chime in there with you?
Oh no, I absolutely agree with them. It's super cool, and that's like another reason why hero bans are awesome. Is we can ban, like, for example, we kept banning like Luna Snow because she had like the team up with Namor, and he can like spawn those icy turrets. Which
Can
is just
I
the bane of your
interject and say how stupid Luna Snow as a character is? I don't mind getting one-shot by Hawkeye as much as I mind sitting AFK for 12 seconds. It is absolutely so boring. I'd rather die and respawn than sit...
Loki.
And then Loki...
I was gonna say, I think it only gets bad when there's Loki. When there's Loki and it's 24 seconds, alright, that's it. I'm done.
Triple support. Loki, Luna, Mantis, 30 seconds. And then by the time you can get them, Luna has farmed another ult. And you're like, oh my god, bro.
Yeah.
So we can see already some of the gripes emerging. I guess I wanted the thing I wanted to lead to is that I guess you can have sympathy with your Rush developer tiers, because what it sounds like, what you guys are saying, is that in order to solve certain problems, they created deeper ones, right? So if we can look back at OpenQ, right? So the problem with OpenQ was these unbalanced games, right? Like, you can say like, oh well, sometimes we were having one support and
I'm
one
ready
DPS,
to put on the
one
show.
tank and
What is this?
4 DPS, whatever. And so to try
I'm
and
ready
solve
to put on the
that,
show.
they went to roll queue.
Me and the
To try and
girls.
then when roll queue with queue times, they were like, okay, well, if we got to solve that, we got to remove a tank. So they remove a tank, they go 5v5. Then to 5v5, well, now the tank is getting blown up, so they buff the tank. Oh, well, now the tank, now it's fucking miserable, it's boring, nobody likes playing against tank. Flats, you're itching to say something, so do you have sympathy or not? You're like, no, fuck.
No, I'm actually more annoyed. I'm actually kind of just pissed at this point, right? Because, like, dude, do you remember me and you sitting down and arguing the day they got announced that 5v5 was coming out? And it's like, you know what it is? We never did the actual easy, the solution. Everybody was like, let's try this. We always did the Blizzard fucking way. And I'll give you a good example even more recently. We talked about the hard counters and the, you know, like, if you are really good on Genji, I don't give a fuck. I can pick Winston and you just can't play the fucking game. Good luck to you. Their way of dealing with the hard counters, instead of limiting swaps or hero bans or talking about all these other things, or talking about like hero design needing to change because like certain heroes just fundamentally fucking suck off the, like, they just suck right out of the gate. Like characters like Orisa, Mauga, they're just fucking terrible and they just don't admit it. And like, I used to play Siege. And there was a character that came out called Clash, and it was a defender operator shield, and they could just run at you and just and tase you, and there's nothing you could do about it. You just
He's so angry.
They took them out of the game for like a year to figure out how to fix them.
Yes,
They
PTSD,
never admit
bro.
their fucking problems. And so you know what happened with the counters? We are all talking about how characters like Widow are just fucking annoying. Instead of dealing with the issue, we hide when you swap them for 15 seconds. And so that caused a new problem where if they swap Widow last fight, there's a fucking question mark and you're like, they swapped. What did they swap to? somebody disappeared. And it's like,
I actually was
hang
so
on, wait a minute.
confused about that because I was playing the game after
Why?
like
Why
and
did
then
they do that
and then
instead?
and
You
then
know, like,
I was like, did they leave? What's going on? It was like, what is happening? I didn't know that was an option. I didn't know it was happening.
But it's like every time there's an issue or something that's a big problem, we do some fucking ass backwards way instead of going after the actual problem.
I know who
And
the fuck Clash is, bro.
after so many years, people get sick of it, right? And while I have the mic for a second, I'm going to hijack for like 2 seconds. There's two really unique things that are really great about Rivals. You know what's actually great about Rivals? The cart moves on its own. Because in 5v5 Overwatch, nobody pushes the fucking cart, right? It used to be the off tank's job, right? Like you'd have your main tank hold forward, your off tank would you hold with them, and then a support holds. That was like the true way, right? Like that's like the pro, like the high GM, like, you know, that was the way you actually are supposed to do it, right? But for most players, one tank would hold forward, one tank would hold back, and then the supports and DPS would all go high ground. They'd all stand together, right? Now there's nobody to push the thing. In Rivals, it pushes fucking self. If nobody's on it, that thing keeps moving. And it's great. So it's like, even if nobody's pushing it, it's like, it's okay. It'll move on its own. I don't have to go back. Like, you know, if somebody wants to go back and push it a little bit faster, that's great. But even beyond that too, we're all talking about the team ups. It encourages team play. It encourages you to work together. Because in Overwatch, the reason why we had a role queue, Boger, you missed it like when SK was talking about it earlier. You only caught the back half about goats. The reason why I was saying role queue was necessary is like we just came out of Moth meta. And remember, like Moth meta was 100% pick rate. If you didn't pick Mercy, you lost the game. So people would always force you to pick Mercy. Like you don't have Mercy, you just lose. And so that, and then into goats, you just get cooked, right? But in Rivals though, if somebody asks you to pick another character, it's typically for a team up, and then you get a benefit too. So it's like, oh, if I pick this character, I get 15% extra damage. Oh, if I pick this character, I get a whole other ability I get to use. Like, oh, and this ability, it's actually really strong and it'll help me survive longer. It helps me get kills. And it's like, by working together, you both mutually benefit instead of one person gets screwed.
I'm about to ruin
and
Flat's
they're
entire
just, like,
world.
taking one for the team.
Because I don't think he knows how
It's
anchors work.
genius.
Can I just interject here? Anchors have their passive buffs always. They don't get a benefit from the team ups.
Yeah, people don't know that.
Yeah, people don't know
They're always
that.
active.
But
That
you
needs
always
to be
have
more
the
clear.
anchor. It's so weird that it's not clear. Because it says you get a buff, and you're like, oh, I get a buff, you get a team up, but you always have the buff. So
Can you explain what the anchor is? Because people might not even know what
the
that means.
anchor is like Hulk is an anchor, like the character that allows for the team up to happen in the first place. Because if you have Mantis and Star-Lord, for example, you don't have the team up. Or if you have Doctor Strange and Iron Man, you don't have the team up. But if you have Hulk and any of those two characters, then you have the team up. And Hulk has bonus HP as an anchor, but that's not an anchor bonus, that's a seasonal buff. So it's actually kind of weird because at the end of the season, he's going to lose 150 HP, which I think is going to make him really bad. Anyways, I agree with Flats. I think I find his passion for Rainbow Six Siege balance really funny. I feel like he has PTSD from that. I feel like he's been traumatized multiple times from multiple games.
It's been a long road.
Actually, when you started saying it, people in chat was like, fuck that character. I don't even know that character, but everyone agreed with you. They're all like, fuck that character.
But at least they admitted it. At least they were like, okay, well,
Yes.
yeah, you guys are sick of that shit. Fine, we'll put it in the vault for a little bit. We'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. Sorry.
Well, Flats balls. SK, go ahead.
An underrated part about Marvel Rivals is the map design. There's a flank all the time. You can stand on pretty much anything. Like, try playing Black Panther on Circuit Royale in Overwatch or Junkertown. It's just not gonna happen. But if like the map designs allow all of these melee characters or unique characters to be playable into anything, and that is like a huge part of why the game is fun.
I also
So
I agree with everything you guys said, but like hero bans is the glue that keeps everything together.
That's
It's
true.
like genuinely just
For
hero
sure.
bans. It is.
Yep.
If Overwatch introduced hero bans, like 2 bans per team, right now I would go back and play ranked. I would. The game would be
Whoa.
I don't
game.
believe that.
I would play it. I would
don't
play.
believe it.
18 hours of
Wouldn't.
Rivals,
Because-
you're
No,
not
I
beating
believe
the
it.
addicted
Listen.
allegation.
I would
I-
go back and play Overwatch, but there's no way I'll play Overwatch, queue up Winston, for example, and then get Malga Reaper on the enemy team and fucking Zen Bap or whatever else, or Hazard now. I wouldn't, like, even now, because Hazard is the most played tank by a long shot. I just saw the screenshots. You can just ban Hazard
yeah.
if there were bans, and then people would just go back to playing whatever the hell they want. So, just hero bans are
Malga.
just. I mean, then you ban Malga and Hazard. You feel me?
Mm.
And then they go
Yeah,
reset.
I mean, it is very vindicating as someone who was wanting this for a long time to see how effective it is and how all the arguments against hero bans are kind of failed in the sense of like, oh well, there'll be another hero ban meta and this we don't have enough heroes. Well, Marvel Rivals had even less heroes.
I
and
agree.
had hero
It's
bans
so maddening that we had so many arguments, and then Marvel was like, you know what? Fuck it, we ball. Introduce hero bans, whatever happens, happens. And they introduce it and it works beautifully, and it fixes a lot of issues and makes the game so much more fun. And all of the excuses that Overwatch doesn't have enough heroes or something else just fly out of the window. Because Marvel Rivals just came out and said 2 bans per team. Go crazy.
That sucks being right.
And it works.
Yeah, so I was going to take it to Necros here because we were kind of initially talking about the path that Overwatch had trodden, right? And hero bans is a part of it. But do you have any sympathy, Necros? Like, do you kind of feel like they were trying to address issues that the community was talking about and just went wrong? Or do you feel like actually what Marvel Rivals has done well is watch and observe each of these like friction points and see where it actually maybe the truth lie, where the community wanted.
I mean, if
and they've kind of taken a little
if
bit
they
of all of
ban
it, even down
Anna
to SK
to
saying,
play
like,
Roadhog,
actually,
you
they
ban
picked the
Roadhog and
maps to make sure
Malga.
that they do have like these wonky melee characters or flanky characters. They have something to do. So let's make breakable scenery so you can like make a new flank or something. And then you got roll lock and you got team ups. Where does your perspective lie? Are you sympathetic with the devs?
Nope. Like with Blizzard, no,
Yeah,
I have no
no?
sympathy. They had so much time to fix the game. Everyone was telling them exactly what to do. All the better players were telling them what to do. They did not do it. The cries for goats were loud for like a year and a half. They didn't do anything about it. I don't know. I don't really sympathize at all.
That was
with the
such
Blizzard
a
devs.
fundamental
I think they had so much
mistake.
time to fix their stuff, and they never went after it. And plus, whenever they introduce a change that is just horrendous, they never go back on it. They will absolutely
Yeah,
never
it is insane.
admit fault.
In Overwatch,
they will never
in-
admit fault. They will die on that hill.
It's crazy. They will let their game explode, at least in Overwatch 1. I genuinely believe in Overwatch 2 was way better. But in Overwatch 1, they just refused to do anything. They were so like adamant that this is the path to take. And then people were like, no, this is not it. And then a year later, they're like, okay, fuck it, you were
Well,
right.
I mean, to try and give a tangible example to maybe people who might be like, oh, you guys are just whining little bitches and you are like hindsight Andes. I will give a tangible example, and I've been kind of resisting being a little bit smug or I told you about it, but I'm sure most of you remember because I think you were all part of it. Like, I think at some point near Death Zone or Watch 1, I ran a bunch of pugs where we tested a bunch of ideas. We did hero bans. We did ult charge resetting when you check a point. So like when you capture a point or something, the ult charge goes to 0. And we tried like 1 or 2 other ideas. I think we tried like domination, like having multiple capture points that you could activate at once. I don't even know if this is ringing a bell for any of you guys, but we did all of these.
I
I'm
know.
pretty
I
sure
remember
these-
that. I remember
Yeah,
that.
I'm pretty sure at least Flats, Boger, and SK were in there. I can't remember Necros. I think you might have invited you. I can't remember if you played or not. And then what we
Wait, what?
did was this is like end of Overwatch 1, so this is a long
right.
time
Oh
ago
yeah.
now. And I remember I asked you guys all to fill in like a little survey, and
Necros.
I also asked you to put a
Oh, I
separate survey
remember
out.
this.
Necros
for
was
all of
so
your
depressed
viewers. I was
back
like,
then.
If anyone watching,
There was
fill in the
nothing
survey.
more
What do you think
depressing
about
than
the
watching
hero bans that
Necros
you see
stream
in
during
idea? What do you
Overwatch
think about
1
this idea? What do you think
and
about
even
that idea?
Overwatch 2.
And I made like I'm not
Like
kidding
towards
you,
the
like
end
a
of Overwatch
20-page
1.
PDF document.
It was like
Yeah.
peak
with
depression.
all the
It was actually the
findings,
most
where it was
depressing
like,
thing ever. It was insane.
1,000 people replied to the survey and said that they felt this about hero bans. They felt this about. I put it like an abstract. I treated it like a proper scientific experiment. I put an abstract on it where I was like, this is the summary of our findings. And I sent it to Blizzard and I was like, here you go, guys. This is what we did. And
Did
I
they
won't
even
name
respond?
names. I won't name
That's a
names,
waste
but
of-
basically the TLDR was someone significant in the dev team was like, yeah,
Oh,
it's all
yeah.
good and all, but you think you want it, you don't. Literally, they were just like, you think it sounds good.
The classic.
Try it for like a month and you'll be bored. Just like you guys don't know. Like we take our word for it. Like we developed literally they were like, we developed World of Warcraft. People were bitching then as well about shit they didn't want. You guys just you don't know. Just trust me, bro.
That's the thing that gets me mad more than anything these days. Is because I was always told certain things are not possible. Things are not, that wouldn't be, we can't do that. People wouldn't actually like it. We've tested that before. It's not doable. It would take too much time and too much resources. It would take away from all this other stuff. So a lot of us have taken that feedback and tried to implement, like, okay, so how can we make it better within these parameters? But now we all see that it was fucking possible the entire time. And it's like, I know you did tons of research. I know you did tons of good things. And it was always just kind of like, that's why I laugh. It's like, I remember that. But also like, they'll look at it and be like,
That's
it's not
such a
enough
good
data.
email.
We can conduct our own. That's the thing. It's like, it's always like, we're smarter, we're better. But it's like, you know, something about Necros taught me when we did our thing was all the players that we played against in our hero showcase, they were all like top 500 devs. They're all insanely talented at the game. They're all fucking really, really goddamn good. And it's like all of us at this point, like, you know, that have played Overwatch for years, like, I don't think it's a flex. I think most of us are much better at the game than almost anyone on that team. And it's not like we're smarter, like we're not devs, we're not better, like we're not better at coding than or anything like that, or analyzing stuff. But when you have 6, 7, 8 years of experience with something, like that means something. It means something. But like it was never really tapped into a lot of times. It was just kind of like, we'll figure it out.
Can I glaze the devs here a bit? During Gamescom, we organized a LAN tournament thing. Like we played 6v6 against the devs, only the devs, and us, a bunch of top 500 Overwatch players, and like half the team was also Grandmaster in Marvel Rivals during the beta. We got spawn camped. We couldn't leave
my
spawn.
God.
We couldn't leave spawn. I was like, I expected Blizzard level, you know, gameplay, but these people were holding all the angles, playing the best meta, and playing Hawkeye wasn't there, Hela, and Strange, and Hulk, and just we couldn't play the game. They had 4 minutes. They camped with 4 minutes left on the Lucky map. It was insane. I was like,
Oh my gosh.
what the fuck?
Last, I actually didn't want to tell you because I didn't want to scare you, but one of the devs that we played against apparently was top 2 peak on the Chinese server.
I'm glad you didn't
What?
say that,
They-
because
they-
I was already going in nervous.
What?
I had to play
Yeah.
in like 6 months. Remember, I messaged you and I was like, dude, I'm gonna get cooked. Like this is gonna be bad. You know, it's like, oh, listen,
Maybe
I
it was
don't mind
player 6.
losing.
And when I was talking to them as well, they also have internal tournaments where they have winners and they get rewards.
That's
That's
cool.
sick.
So
It is cool.
Yeah, they do.
Well, I
Yeah.
want to say one thing for for the Overwatch devs. They late in Overwatch 2, they have been getting feedback from like top 500 people or creators or pros. So they've been getting better about it. But
I
in
think,
Overwatch 1, they absolutely never ever did that.
okay, give credit where credit is due. I think Overwatch 2 devs are a lot more receptive and
For sure.
and they react way faster. I think Overwatch 1
They're
was
all really great.
so cooked. It was like you're talking to a wall, and I wasn't even in like I didn't have any connections, but just from your guys' interactions with them, like it just seemed like you were talking to a wall.
Oh,
And I will
the
say
wall
the-
would be
the-
more responsive.
I will say that I don't want the point to be misconstrued. What I'm saying is that everything that we as creators say or we as community say is correct all the time. And we, in fact, we
For sure.
explicitly said that earlier in the podcast that
Mhm.
we make stupid claims and we say stupid things and we ask for stupid things, especially in the heat of the moment. Like you're playing, especially when you are, that's where you do need a bit of distance. Because when you do play a game 8 hours a day, you sometimes get trapped in like oh, this is really frustrating. But actually the truth is somewhere else. But I think as it goes back to what we said earlier, you have to stand on the right issues and relent on the right issues. Like that's the key to making a long-term successful game. And we'll see what Marvel Rivals does if they are going to make that. Is like Jeff stood on certain issues and he was right on some issues and he was wrong on some issues. And that stand proved to be the making and breaking of Overwatch, right? It's like the initial stand was what made Overwatch so great. But then the failure to recognize actually I should wilt here, I should relent here is also what brought the downfall of Overwatch 1. So the secret sauce is making that right. Like, I think actually the community has a point here versus guys, we have a vision here. Like, stick with us. So I think that's what it comes down to basically. Necros, SK,
Yeah.
anything else you guys want to add?
I think all the Overwatch 2 devs are really good, really bright, but they have a huge problem to fix and maybe not the resources to do it.
Yeah, that's the key. Actually, they literally don't.
I don't.
Yeah, I don't think I think it's like unfair to compare Marvel Rivals and Overwatch in a lot of ways, because Marvel Rivals I bet has a lot of funding into it, and they can pump out heroes like crazy in maps, especially because they don't have to make the heroes from ground up. They just choose them from the comics, and most of them love Marvel. So they're like, actually, Luna Snow was created by the guy that made Marvel Rivals for another game. Do you know that? Danny,
Oh,
Danny,
they made
yeah,
the-
they made
creator.
he made the
character.
character. He made the character,
Yeah.
then
Oh,
added it to
cool.
Marvel Rivals.
What?
Yeah, he created
so
Luna
cool.
Snow. Danny.
That explains because I was reading somewhere that like she's not really a very prominent character in the
No,
Marvel canon.
he made it for a game, another Marvel game, because he worked on another game, and then he re-added her into Marvel Rivals.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Can I ask actually a genuine question that I have? I don't know if you have any insight on this, Bogo, or maybe Necros or Flats. When you guys, if you've spoken to devs, you know. Does it actually speed up the process to have a because how much of the dev time goes into like ideating on a hero versus actually just making the model and the abilities? Like my impression would have been the majority of the time is in like making the model and the abilities and the like look
Yeah,
of it and the design, the balance of it.
But before that, you're gonna have concept artists, and then you're gonna have people figuring out how the character is like in Overwatch. Hazard is being made. They need to choose where he's from, how he looks like, what. I mean, Row they need to choose from Marvel
But
Rivals.
the thing
anyways.
is, that's like a simultaneous process, though, right?
I
Is
don't
what
think
I'm saying.
so.
Like, someone's always making a new, like, someone's job is to just keep churning out ideas. So they're just going to keep throwing ideas. But from my understanding, again, this is why if you've talked to the devs, maybe ask them as well, where does the majority of the time take? Because I would have thought it'd be actually like making the character in the game.
I think I'll be honest. I think it's, from my personal opinion, which people would disagree with. I haven't been a game dev or anything, but I think it's much harder to create something from nothing and make it actually a tangible thing, and then like go from there and then make the model. Like somebody needs to figure out how Hazard looks like, and I feel like it takes a lot of time just to get it right, and then somebody bases the model off of that. So I feel like the modeling is probably going to take less time than the creation of the idea, because a lot of you make ideas for videos and stuff. I feel like it takes a lot of time to make a really good, video or something, like make it into reality. Once you start making it, it's much faster. But the first steps, I feel like it's much harder, But I don't know.
Sure. No, I genuinely don't know. That's why I'm asking. Flats, you were going to say something?
I mean, I also I agree. I 100% agree. But I can't help but say let's not get it twisted. Like they had the resources for a long time. They just fucked up how they were going to use them because of the Overwatch 2 with the PvE, right? And I hate to say it. I mean, the guy is just an evil bastard, but a broken clock is right twice a day. There was that report that came out, was Bobby wanted to expand the Overwatch team to have two teams, a team that worked on Overwatch 1 and a team that worked on Overwatch 2. And Jeff did not want to do that. He wanted one small team. There was no chance in hell they were ever going to make the product that they wanted to make in that time. They're also now acquired by Microsoft. That deal has been in place for years, and it went through last year, and there's not shit. It wasn't even at the Xbox showcase. Overwatch, who's owned by that company, was not at the showcase. If they're not giving them the resources, then it's there's a reason they're not getting the resources, because it's not making as much money as it would need to make to get more stuff, get more into it. And how do you reverse that? I don't know. I actually don't know how you stop that slide, because if you're getting less and less resources and you can't make stuff and you can't keep up with demand, you're going to fall behind. And if they're already kind of falling behind, I don't know. I don't know how you fix that. But it's not like they didn't have resources for a long time. They absolutely did. They just didn't do the right things with those resources.
And again, that goes back to Jeff stickling, right? Jeff's no, I want this small team. And sometimes that decision works, sometimes it doesn't. Now, obviously, this is a Rivals podcast, so go ahead.
I feel like we've come from a really bad 8-year relationship, and the new person we're dating is treating us really well, and we finally learned what it's like being in love, or being loved by somebody, and things to genuinely, this is how it feels in this podcast right now.
This is like therapy for
It
all of
is.
us.
It is
For real though. Someone's gonna say oh, you guys, it's Rivals, you're talking about so much Overwatch, but genuinely though, we are gonna be the people that have the most experience in the hero genre for the longest period of time, and we can be hey, we saw this happen, it's not good, don't do this, be careful, we're almost like historians of a terrible era, we can look at these things and be these things didn't work, and it's I hope they don't happen here. And so yeah, I know it's we're probably talking a little bit too much about it, but it's it's important. It's important to know.
You know what's also crazy? That I can at Pokimane to duo, and she's like yes because she likes playing the game, but it was Overwatch. I couldn't
You
get.
got blocked.
I would have been blocked by anyone. Like just me talking to people at TwitchCon that I'm an Overwatch streamer would give me. They would look at me weirdly. They would be like, "Oh, it's Overwatch streamer."
Ogre.
Yeah.
That's not
I think
true.
they-
I got
yeah,
Pokimane
she
to say
did.
yes to play Overwatch with me.
She did.
Really? But did you play Overwatch?
Audio listeners, SK stunned silence.
Because I feel like she liked you.
You still haven't got her to play
No,
Marvel
no,
Rivals
I
yet
haven't.
either, though,
But
so
she
don't count your
replied. She replied.
chickens.
But my point is, she said yes to Overwatch because she liked SK, but she doesn't want to play Overwatch. But then,
No, but that's the common denominator. She just likes SK, so we have
Oh,
to
yes.
figure out if she likes
Yay.
playing with you.
who doesn't like
in
playing
any
with me?
game.
Let's be real. Necros, vouch.
Me.
He's not gonna
Yeah.
vouch.
Yeah,
Fuck, Ogre.
he's not here, bro.
Well, I am. I actually had something to say. I wanted to say that,
Really?
what goes into what makes making the heroes really go by quicker is, I think that what's missing from Blizzard is also passion, right? That's what's like different about these devs is I feel like they're all really like big fans of the Marvel universe and they're like very passionate. One thing that I have heard them say is that the devs made so do you guys know all the preview trailers for like the earlier ones for Cloak and Dagger, Iron Fist, all the like heroes that got revealed at once. I was told that they made all of them in one day.
The trailers.
Yeah, the preview
Huh?
trailers for all the heroes.
Okay.
Because they like and they were like, "Oh, you guys calm down." They're like, "No, we have all these cool ideas. We want to make this right now." Yeah, I think that's like one thing that's missing from Blizzard is I feel like they all kind of show up there and they're like, "Okay, guys, all right, let's think of a new hero. All right, what's
No, they're
What's that?
incredibly passionate. I've spent a lot of time with them. I've like in real life, they are so. I have not met anyone that is more passionate about Overwatch than the Overwatch devs. I will die on that hill.
I agree with
I will,
SK
I
on
will
that
have
one.
to agree with SK as well in the sense that being in that office, I was like, I don't understand how these guys have this much passion for this game
Yeah.
that like I feel morbid about. Like I'm like depressed about this game, and these guys have to hear this shit, and they're still this passionate.
No, we know the answer.
I just feel like the results aren't really there. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
you can,
but-
s- you can literally see what
But
the Marvel Rivals
Here's
is
the
working on.
thing. When you talk to the devs, because we all met them except you, they're really passionate and nice and they love the game and they kept talking about the game with us. So you can't you think about it and you're like, these people really love the game and they love working on it. So what the hell is going on behind the scenes, right? So I don't think it's fair to blame the devs. I feel like there might be higher powers at play.
I think that's it for sure.
Okay. I mean, like I said, this is a Rivals podcast, so we will talk about Rivals a
Yes.
bit more. I just want to round out. So like, let's end the Overwatch discussion with this one final point, which is that we've cried over the spilt milk. We've kind of aired our grievances, our sort of complaints, the notes that we had are like, this bitch treat me like that over then. But now, what is the lesson for current Overwatch to take? Like, what can it do now? Is there any hope for Overwatch to kind of learn from Marvel Rivals or take anything from it to be like, okay, how do we make our game pop off again? Or is it just that like Marvel Rivals is just dead now? Overwatch is killed, Overwatch is dead, Marvel Rivals killed it. I mean, Necros already declared it dead earlier.
Overwatch is dead. Yep,
2016 to 2025 over RIP. But
Yeah, it's
so is that your stance? Unironically, Necros, you think it's kind of cooked?
okay, so I think whatever they could possibly do is years off. So I think Marvel Rivals is gonna have their turn in the spotlight, whatever, right, for the next year. Like, I really don't think they can do anything to the game yet. Like, based off of their release cadence and stuff, it's probably going to take them a while before they actually manage to challenge Rivals. That's at least my take on it.
I mean, that's a very reasonable take. SK, how about you? Where do you stand on this?
I agree. It has to be something huge, and that's years away.
Damn, depressing. Flats, you any different feeling on it?
I think even if it is a huge thing, like anything that they come up with, it's not going to be what people have asked for. It'll be Blizzard's own special thing that they came up with, and whether it's good or not, that will probably piss people off because they asked for XYZ and were given ABC.
Mm.
Okay, Boga, come on. You gotta draw some optimism here.
They
What can Overwatch do?
One funny thing is so I have a lot more viewers now than any time during Overwatch. A lot of people that came into my stream were like, bro, I know from you, I know about you for a long time, but I don't like Overwatch, but I love Marvel Rivals. So yeah, I know, like, damn, that's depressing, right? So I feel like the only way Overwatch comes back is if they make something huge, as Necro said. But they weren't prepared for Marvel Rivals launch. Like, I don't think they actually thought that Marvel Rivals is going to be so big, so they didn't prepare anything. I feel like Marvel Rivals swooped in, stole all the creators, basically, stole the player base, and now everybody actually the casters too. They just took everything, and they're like, it's ours now. And Overwatch hasn't done a single thing about it, right? So I don't know. Or the other thing is, if Marvel Rivals completely fucks up, they do something so inherently stupid in a few months that everybody's like,
oh, never.
They're like, okay, back to Overwatch. Like, it's like if it's a relationship, it's like they cheat on you with, you know, like the worst person you know, right? And you're like, okay, this is fucked up. Fuck this. I'm back to Overwatch. I mean, she was abusive, but at least, you know, she didn't do this, right? So I feel like that is the only two possibilities. But who knows? Maybe Overwatch comes out, 5 new heroes in February, 60 new maps, 6v6 is back. Jeff Kaplan revived, but this time no longer evil and bad. He just sits there in front of a campfire and just talks about the game. Who knows?
Okay, I feel like I gotta be the opposite side on this for like 1 sec.
Okay.
I feel like it's mostly dead for people like us that have been around for a long time, that played Overwatch 1. And you made a great point, Boger, earlier of how they reimagine the game and they change it fundamentally with role queue, with 5v5, big ones, right? And that the player base today is either disgruntled Overwatch 1 players who have no other choice because there's no other game that plays like it, or Overwatch 2 enjoyers. And now all the disgruntled Overwatch 1 players who have been looking for their fix of a hero shooter now have a home to go to. And they are going there. But all of the people who fell in love with Overwatch 2, what it is today, the 5v5, the way the game plays, the way support got changed, the way tank got changed, they enjoy what the game is today. They're likely only been playing since 2022 when the game went free to play and was when it was a new game, quote unquote. Those players probably will still keep playing Overwatch and maybe enjoy Rivals too. But to them, the game isn't dead. The game probably won't go anywhere.
I do,
but it will take a giant hit because there was a lot of people that were disgruntled Overwatch 1 people who wanted that fix and they wanted to play that game, but they couldn't. And that is in reality a lot of, especially the creators and casters that exist today, because we've been around for so many years. We've had those established bases. And if we're going to be completely honest, like there's some people in the scene that used to be really, really big streamers or even still are, but like their ceiling comes down slowly. And it's hard to ignore that the ceiling's coming down little by little.
I need to hide my face.
And it's like, people are just not interested that much anymore. That trickle of new players is small. It's not as big as it used to be, but they're still there and they will still love that game. And maybe a new group of creators will come out of this where they've just only been playing Overwatch 2 and they still enjoy the game. And a lot of people that are more disgruntled have a new home and they're going to go play that mostly.
I actually agree with you, and I was thinking about it, but I kind of forgot until started talking about it. I think one of the best things to happen to Overwatch is Marvel Rivals, because it shows the devs a lot of things that they were really scared about adding. It shows them that it could work. It removes a lot of people that are unhappy with the game, like us, that just didn't enjoy the game, and leaves a lot of people that actually enjoy the game to just play the game in peace. I mean, kind of not in peace because everyone keeps bullying them, but in peace. And I've seen a lot of other creators just slowly grow, and if we do stay forever in Marvel Rivals, they will inevitably take the spots that we left behind. And I think it's a good thing, because I think it's way better for Overwatch to have creators that actually enjoy the game than us that sit there and bitch about it every single day, right? So I think it's a good thing. Ultimately, I think it's kind of rough right now, but when inevitably people like start, season 1, how long is the season Marvel Rivals? Like 3 months? 2? I don't know.
No.
3 months.
Like
I believe.
3 months? Like 2 months?
I think it's 2.
Either way, I feel like towards the later half of season 1, people are going to be like, okay, we've played it, we've done this, let's go play some Overwatch, right? So people are saying
It's
3
2.5
months.
So-
People are saying 3
So-
months.
It's 2.5.
2.5. Okay.
It's
2.5, okay.
2.63.
So I feel like a lot of people will
Repeating.
kind of get tired with the Rivals a bit towards the end of the season, which is normal. And then they will probably go back and play some Overwatch. And what's going to wait for them there are going to be people that actually enjoy the game. And I think that's cool. I think it's an interesting thought. It's a more positive thought.
Yeah, I mean, here I'm going to try and provide a little bit of positivity as well, which is that to some extent the question I asked you is unfair because I don't think it realistically it's fair to compare Overwatch 2 right now to Marvel Rivals right now because it's like so obviously like skewed to the fact that Marvel Rivals is just released and is popping off and has all the hype, right? And nobody's ever mad at a game in the first month. There's just never has a, like if it's a good game, nobody's ever like, oh my god, look at all these bad decisions the devs are making. People are always like, oh yeah, this is great and that is great, and even this I thought I would hate is actually really great. So it's more about a question of like a year down the line, 2 years down the line, right? And I'm sure the Overwatch devs are aware that they like this will happen. I think one thing that they can do is that right now Marvel Rivals is succeeding as the anti-Overwatch, right? It's like, oh, all the bad decisions Overwatch made, we fixed them. We made all the good decisions. So if you liked Overwatch, you come to Marvel Rivals, like original Overwatch, you come to Marvel Rivals, you get original Overwatch. Somewhere down the line, that relationship will reverse. Somewhere down the line, if Marvel Rivals has like these hundreds of thousands of players playing, they will make decisions that the Marvel Rivals community will be like, why didn't you add Roadlock? Why do you keep banning the heroes I like? Whatever thing it is, right? They're going to make some decision that Overwatch then has the chance to be like, oh, you want a sanitized experience where you don't have 5 DPS in your team? Come to Overwatch where we have Roadlock or whatever it is, right? I'm not saying that's the one. But there will come these times when Overwatch has the chance to market itself as the anti-Marvel Rivals. And I actually do think right now it hurts. And like I'm seeing fucking Dexerto trash journalism general articles of like, Overwatch's viewership is dead. Marvel Rivals has killed it. And it's like...
I actually hate these articles so much in Twitter posts. It's like, just what's the point of this? Like, you're just farming clicks.
Yeah, it's like
That is the
farmer.
point.
That's literally that is actually the point.
Yeah, that's the point of it. Well, shit, I lost my train of thought. But
I can tell you it's bullshit because they literally one of the people they mentioned in that article was Emong, and it's like he hasn't even played that much Rivals. like
Yeah.
what he's talking about. Like you just went through and like who are top Overwatch streamers and just like copied and pasted a bunch of the names, checked and saw if they played any Rivals, and then hit paste. Okay.
And then like every day there's a new post who's like, Overwatch is dying. Marvel Rivals taking over. Marvel Rivals is the best game ever. Marvel Rivals way better. It's like, I swear Necros is writing all these posts.
so the point I was going to make...
It's a good game, man.
So the point I was going to make is that it actually is, right now it feels bad, but actually in the long term it should be good for Overwatch that there's a game in a very similar genre that's popping off that has people playing. Because right now, like before Marvel Rivals, there was like just Overwatch in this specific genre, right? It's like in the same way that Battle Royale games, they kind of feed off of each other to some extent, right? It's like by having 2 or 3 really popular Battle Royale games, they can constantly like steal from each other, but they're also keeping the genre alive. In the same way,
Guys, I just remembered I was streaming
Marvel
on
Rivals
YouTube
is
as
showing
well.
people what they loved about launch
forgot I had my
Overwatch, which is
stream
making
on
them play
YouTube.
this type of game again. And somewhere down the line, like Overwatch will feed off of it in the same way that all these big genres of games do. And I was thinking about this in a big meta sense of like, it's really hard for a game to stick like and remain for years as successful. Like, there's only like 6 games that do that, right? It's like Fortnite, CS:GO, League and Dota, and you know whatever else you want to add. Like maybe you want to add Valorant, maybe you want to add like something else, right? But it's like a handful of games that actually stick for years. Everything else comes and goes. Right? Everything else like popped off for like a year and then it disappears. Like eventually dwindles into obscurity. Overwatch at least has some. Like it did capture this huge moment. It still did have this huge peak. And now Marvel Rivals with this huge franchise behind it, this huge like, behemoth behind it to churn out content, will bring people to the genre. Like
Twitch,
it will bring people to the hero
like
shooter,
this.
arena shooter, whatever you want to call it, genre. And that does leave a market, I think, for the Overwatch team to be like, okay, well, people like this genre. How do we carve our own little niche in it? So I think that is in my mind, that's where Overwatch should look with hope. Is like, okay, maybe we can figure something out in like a duality with Marvel Rivals, the way like League and Dota play off of each other, you know, stuff like that. Any thoughts on this end from you guys before we move on back to actually just talking about Rivals stuff?
I didn't think about that. That's smart.
That's fair. Necros, anything you want to add?
No.
Cool. I mean, Boger's already put you on blast for ghostwriting on Dexerto, so
Hey, listen, I
What
just
can
know
you
it's
do?
him, bro. It's
I
him.
am the writer. What if I am secretly the writer?
While we're waiting 20
Possible.
minutes in queue,
plot
he's just
twist.
writing the articles. I mean, honestly, I don't think there's any difference in your writing skills between these journalists and you who plays the game only and has never had any experience whatsoever. Let's be clear here for a sec.
damn. Okay, well, so you kind of alluded to it, but they're about to drop season 1 of Marvel Rivals. I think next week or this week.
Like what, 4 days?
Okay, so
Yeah.
couple days. What do you think it needs to get right in this first season for like the first season to be a good success? So I'll take it to SK first. SK, what does season 1 of Marvel Rivals need?
Why you
think
VIP
it already
in
has-
SK
It
stream?
already has everything. Like the new heroes coming out. I don't know how much else is coming. You know, honestly, I really haven't looked into it. But
Well, actually,
Yeah, I feel like the
do
new
any of you
heroes
guys have
coming
like
out,
an
new
authoritative
skins.
list of what's coming out that you can help SK out with?
No.
Like a
No,
list of
you
like
don't
what
know?
you want?
Or what's
Or-
coming? Do you know what's actually coming right
4
now? Like,
heroes, 3 maps,
Oh.
new battle pass, new fucking.
Okay.
I don't know.
New tournament.
New tournament.
Wait, there's 3
oh,
maps?
really?
Yeah.
Golly. Excuse
Okay,
my
you know what?
strong language.
That's actually my
Um,
only complaint. That's literally it.
Oh.
Okay, SK, I'll let you finish your point and then we'll go back to the others.
There's like a lot of bugs I want to see fixed. The voice chat thing, when I can't see who's talking, is really making me mad. The ping to servers, I'm like teleporting around a lot. When I play Spider-Man and I'm doing a lot of uppercut stuff, sometimes I'll literally just like teleport back to where I was. Psylocke Dash will have me teleporting, and I'm not exaggerating with teleporting, like I am genuinely teleporting or stuttering around the map, or I have 100 FPS if fights break out, or if a Doctor Strange puts a portal in front of me, I have 50. My teammates are crashing out of the game when people open up Doctor Strange portals, and we're losing points because of it. I don't know. It's just like a lot of stuff needs polish, and I'm also curious to see what the patch will be like, the balance patch, because that'll give us a really good bearing on what we might see in the future. I'm scared that if Wolverine gets buffed, we'll see a Giga Wolverine meta where tanks can't play the game anymore. But
1,000
then he'll
buffs
just
to
become a permaban.
Wolverine.
But yeah, he'll just become a permaban. So yeah.
Necros, how about you? You're already quite, you're already on board and you're already writing articles, but what do you think season 1 needs to do?
I think it needs to do exactly what it's doing. I mean, I think this is perfect. Like,
Yeah.
what more could you ask for? They're releasing 4 heroes. There's a bunch of new maps. I don't know exactly. I think it's 2 or 3. They're adding a lot of content. Like, I think the maps are the biggest issue though, and so it's good that those are getting addressed. Because I feel like, okay, I don't know about you
Bro,
guys,
these
but I feel
guys
like
glaze
there's,
the
like,
game
Opinion
so
Rivals
hard,
where,
bro.
There's a lot
I'm about
of,
to
like,
fucking
VP
shit on the
maps
game. I'm about
happening.
to
Do you
shit on
guys
the
get
game.
that?
I'm about to shit on the game.
Yes.
I'm about
Like,
to shit the game.
how
I'm
many
about
like I've
I'm about to
played,
fucking
like,
lay it down,
like
bro.
one time, like I think the
These
same
people
map
are
3
fucking
times in a row.
glazing us the
And
fuck
so,
out
like,
of
I
this
feel
game.
like
5 times
adding
in a
maps
row.
adding maps would like remedy that issue.
These people are
But they shouldn't
fucking
add too
wild.
many. I feel like they're
I think
already
the way
getting to too many.
I think like there's no
And
issues in this
like
game.
what, 8 or something?
Yeah, like a
There's not that many. I think their system might be flawed. So like, I think that in some games, like basically the server says, hey, if you're playing within this 10-15 minute interval, you have a chance to get like this map, which is like a high percentage chance. And then maybe a secondary map as like a lower, but like close to the same percentage. And then there's like a third backup map. And so the game recognizes, okay, what map did you play last game? And then it's like, okay, if you played last game, within that 15-minute window or whatever the window is, it's like, okay, you already played that map within this window. Okay, we'll give you the second one, right? And then like a very rare third map. That's why like if you open up a lot of like streamers like games during the same time of the day, doesn't matter what game it is, a lot of times you'll see them playing on the same map at the same time. And I think that's because the server is just like, hey, like, when you queue up at this time in this interval, you will get a map, right? And I don't know what the intervals are. I don't know if there's there doesn't seem to be a detection. Like, okay, I just played this map. We won't give you it again. We'll give you the next one instead. I don't think there's a system like that in place. So like you were saying, you got 3 in a row. I would bet that you finish those first 2 games like pretty quickly. and then the third game, like you managed to still get in on the same interval somehow, where it just
Probably.
gives you the same map again. And so it's like it kind of sucks to have that happen.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it was like a Koth map and it was like a 2-0 stomp. So yeah, these games tend to finish pretty quickly, so that might be the reason why. But it definitely sucks to get like the same map a bunch of times in a row.
But SK, you feel like maybe actually you want to limit the number of maps overall.
Yeah, it feels like a waste of
I'm just thinking about what I can
resources.
show in
I
the
don't
game.
know. Do you guys think Overwatch has too many maps? I think it does.
Yes. Yeah, I do.
Like, it's
I
getting
think
ridiculous.
I think it has too
There's
many
so
modes.
many
I
things you can
think
do.
it has
I think
too
it's
many
game
game
modes.
modes. Yes, exactly, Flats. I was gonna say the
Yes.
same thing. I think if the game focused on payloads and King of the Hill and hybrids and just made more maps like that instead of trying to make new game modes, it would be much better.
Does it have too many game modes or does it have too many bad game modes?
Yeah,
'Cause I
but
don't
but
think
the thing
anyone-
is, there's only so many good game modes you can make. Like there's only like people like payload and hybrid and King of the Hill are just inherently so much better than any other game mode. And there's like that's
Well, it
one.
dilutes it as well.
Yes, it
So
also
like if you want to
dilutes
get a
it.
map every other season and you have 6 game modes, those core game modes maybe get one map every 2 years.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, every
Yeah.
2 months is a new hero and every 2 months is a new map. So that's once every 4 months. You have 6 game modes. That means like it might be 2 fucking years before a certain game mode gets a new map. And then if they introduce a new game mode, well, they're going to give maps for the new game mode too. And especially the newer game modes, like, you know, your flashpoint, your push, whatever. Like when you add all these game modes, you have to give them maps too. So like the core gameplay maps are going to fall behind.
This is a
I
crazy,
just- I
crazy
think
comment.
that
Glazing is nowhere
honestly,
near the
more
word
maps
to
is
put it.
almost
They
never a
literally
bad
just
thing.
enjoy the game, just
Unless the
being a
map
idiotic
sucks, then it's
Debbie
like, okay, well, I don't want
count.
to play the map.
I think there is a wider thing of it.
That's
Is
a
like
crazy
especially for
copy-pasta
someone who
right
doesn't
there.
play a lot, it's like if there's 20 maps, you might get like you might never even play a map for like
Yeah.
weeks. Right? You just constantly changing maps, and that can be a little bit frustrating, I think, if you're just like, oh, I don't even properly know this map.
V.
And I'm having to like dance around it again, figuring out what the wall is, blah blah. So I definitely think you can get bored, but I also think it's not the worst thing in the world to just grind a map if it's a good map. If you're just like happy with the map, you're not really gonna, you know, if you gave Overwatch players like 5 maps and they were all the 5 best maps, I don't think they'd complain that they were just playing the same 5 maps over and over.
It's
I'm not
I
tired of
Someone
playing
would.
this yet.
listen.
Someone would.
I
Someone would always complain about everything, but yeah, that's
can I.
neither here nor there.
I feel like there's too much glazing on here from our rivals. I'm about to lay it down.
Mm.
I'm about to say my piece here. I think the game is good. I
Welcome,
think it's
Marvel rival.
fuck that game. No, I think the game is fun. I think it's really good, but performance for a lot of people is kind of
Horrible.
ass. Not to mention some heroes, their abilities are tied to FPS. I've seen strange players
Yeah.
remove, like, basically make as much FPS as they can so that they can fly into the team with their shift. Because so if you don't know, strange fly thing, the distance you traverse is tied to your FPS. So if you min-max your FPS and have really high FPS, you can literally fly into the enemy team and strange out, and the enemy strange can't do anything. So
Much
I've
change to counter it.
I've seen it.
Fine.
I've seen some strange players start doing this, which is kind of annoying, not gonna lie. Second of all, as we mentioned, playing the same map over and over again, really annoying. Some heroes, like Hela, were broken in the beta, are still broken, and I'm really scared that they're not gonna do anything about it season 1. I do know she has a seasonal buff, but there's characters that are really oppressive, and like Hela, Hawkeye, Wolverine is a nightmare if you're a tank. Like, it's genuinely a nightmare. It's so bad. It's like you hope if Wolverine isn't banned that you have a Wolverine player, or they don't play Wolverine, or you can't play the game. It's actually terrible to play against Wolverine. And bugs. There's a lot of bugs. And voice chat. Voice chat is actually embarrassing how bad voice chat
It's
is.
so bad.
It's actually
horrible.
It's
so
been
bad.
that way since the alpha too.
Yeah.
They haven't done anything about it. I can't believe. Like I was living under the hope that they're gonna do something until the full release, but no, you can't. Like at least like being able to see who is talking. Like that's like the worst part. Like someone just says like, "Yo, bubble me" or something. I'm like, okay, who the hell is saying that?
Yeah,
Who's saying bubble?
you can't see who's talking half the time. You can't see if you're talking, and then sometimes it randomly turns on your microphone. So I'm just talking.
Mhm.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
And the ping system is random. It's like you can ping the point in front of you, and it pings the mantis behind you.
Yeah.
It's so bad
Or
as
it'll
well.
be your ult status.
You try to ping the Iron Fist, fisting your backline, but instead it pings the point that's 50 million kilometers away. It's like, either way.
Yeah.
Anyways, these things, very fixable. But they were fixable back in
Annoying.
the beta. They weren't fixed now. I hope they fix it in the future.
Yeah, good points. I think these are again things that people will forgive for a little bit of time, but they won't forgive for a long period of time. Like if that goes on for a while,
Mhm.
people are gonna bitch the hell off. Like I remember with Apex having those, like they had audio issues for the longest time, right? It was like people were constantly complaining that like, oh, you can't hear like someone's footsteps, or like there's suddenly random footsteps. And then, for a while you can be like, okay, that's fine. But after 6 months, you're like, this game is ass. It's not fixed this one problem. Blah 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 blah.
Oh, also the mouse moving or mouse something thing at the beginning. There was definitely something with it.
It wasn't
And-
mouse acceleration. It was mouse
Wasn't necessarily
moving. It was mouse
acceleration.
moving. Because like I
There
even
was
tested
something,
the
and it was really
acceleration.
messing with the
There
game.
was no acceleration, but there might have been smoothing.
Yeah.
But
And
I,
then
as a
there was
tank
a
player,
config.
don't notice it.
I feel like it's a cope. I didn't notice it at all.
No,
didn't notice
I
it either.
really noticed it. There was
It's-
a huge
it's- no,
difference
it's a
when I
cope. It's
used
actually
the
a cope.
config and when I didn't.
I
But
can
after a bit,
imagine
it got
SK would pick
fixed.
up on it. SK is the kind of person who would pick up on
I
it.
100% there was something. And the config that fixed it, like, they removed it. Or the config that fixes FPS and like all the problems, they patched it out. Like you can't use it anymore, and they've been banning people that use it. So that sucks. Yeah.
I think they did say in the Discord announcement that they're gonna like address it as soon as possible, which is
Yeah.
I'm assuming season 1. So they're working on it. The point is that they're listening, and that's good.
Mm.
We had an interesting point in chat from Gavin Winter actually saying that like maps and new heroes have diminishing returns. So like the more you add, the less excited each new release is, which I think totally makes sense. Like
Gavin Winter is
a new hero
works
in
for
like a
Blizzard.
game with
Heroes.
100 heroes is whatever. Like I've seen that in Dota. Like new hero comes out, like a new hero just came out, everyone's like, just ban this fucker. I don't even want to play with him. Like I don't give a shit. So I think that's, and when you've already
It's
got like 100
Gavin,
choices, you've already got
not
50 heroes
Devin.
you've never played. So I think it makes sense that right now it's hype to get 4 more rival heroes, but this actually leads well to the next question I was going to ask is, do you think they're going to keep up this kind of cadence? Like obviously not. I don't imagine they're going to release 4 heroes every season, but maybe you think they do. Maybe Flats feels like maybe you think Flats are going to release like 4 heroes every season?
It depends how much money they printing.
I mean, to be fair, if they
No
keep
way.
releasing 4 heroes every season, eventually there will run out of fun ideas, and it will be just heroes for the sake of releasing heroes. And I also think
Mhm.
the 4 new heroes, or however much they might be releasing throughout this year, have been prepared beforehand because they've had a lot of time to do it.
I mean, if they release 4 new heroes, I'm going to start writing some Marvel comics because they're going to run out of ideas very fast and they're going to need some new ones. So I'm going to get my own.
They have like
let us know.
2,000 or something to pull.
I think
from?
they have like 9,000 characters. I'm probably
Yeah,
really
but,
low,
but
What?
even with 9,000 characters, how many different variants of DPS can you do? Like genuinely, or tank? Like how like what else are you gonna do? Like you're gonna make all the ideas. You're gonna have 50 Vanguards. The 51st Vanguard. How are you gonna make him unique?
Guys, I want them to add Shang-Chi. Sorry, that's just random. But what? What do you mean who?
I don't. Okay, I'll be honest here.
Break it down.
Okay,
for
listen,
him,
listen.
SK,
I
break it
have
down
I
for
have
him.
watched maybe 2 Marvel movies in my life.
Oh,
Not a good
Yeah.
show.
And listen, I'm just
It's funny.
honest.
That's a self-report.
Self-report.
I mean, I don't think. I mean, the thing is, the good thing for them is that each character has an existing backstory, right? So you don't need the mechanics to be unique. You just like mix and mash 3 different archetypes, right? So it's like one character has AAA, one character has ABC, one character has like C, D, A. You just kind of mix and mash a few types of abilities, and that's fine. Like as long as they look
I've
cool
watched
and
the
they,
Strange
their
movie.
comics will have cool
The
story.
first one. I don't know if there's another one.
Who cares? Necros, you think they're gonna release 4 heroes a season?
No, absolutely not. I think the cadence is going to slow down pretty quickly. Actually, I don't know how many of you know this, but Rivals
Wait,
is
there's
actually supposed
cinematics
to
for
release in the middle of
Overwatch?
2025. So I think they have like a lot of content that they've like that was
Wait, there's
almost
Overwatch
finished, but they chose to
cinematics?
release it like a bit earlier. So I'd expect it to slow down by like
I
maybe
thought this was
season
the game.
3 or 4. I think it's going to go down to like would be considered normal, right?
And what do you envision their eventual cadence will be? Like 1 hero a season?
Probably like a hero and a map every season is what I would imagine they
Are
are
you
probably
for
going
real?
for.
This guy has.
that's still so much. That's crazy. That'd be awesome.
It's crazy.
And what do you guys see as like the future for
I
the
love
franchise?
doing
then?
my
Like, so
thing, and
we're
then
kinda
like
talking
new
season
chatters
one.
are like, "Is this guy
But where
serious?"
does it go from there? Like, because it is such a huge franchise. Like, what could we expect? Could we expect bigger tie-ups? Like, are they gonna reference Marvel Rivals in like TV shows and films? Are they gonna release a film and then immediately release a character at the same time in the game to like generate hype? Like, what? Where do you think it could go, Boger?
I'm sorry. Could you repeat the question? Because I was laughing at the chatter saying something really stupid.
My
I feel
favorite.
that. I feel that's on a
I was
spiritual
just-
level right now.
and
I
then
don't
every
focus on
time
this
they say
conversation half the
something,
time.
they say something stupid. Everyone starts copy pasting it. They're like, "Oh my fucking god!" Okay, say it again. I'm sorry.
I was just saying, where do you think the future for the franchise lies? Like, how can they tie in with like the wider Marvel cinematic universe and whatnot?
I think
The
if
franchise.
they start making, I think they should make a PvE game. I think, no, it's like,
And where you fight robots. Yeah.
no, I don't know. I think one cool thing is that they're collabing with their other Marvel games. I think that's really cool. And they said they're collab. I don't even know the games, but I think that's cool. Collabing with other games, getting free stuff for playing the games. Collabing with maybe, okay, wild take here, but imagine a DC collab with Marvel. That could be kind of crazy. Listen. I'm just saying. Or you don't even have to do DC.
Batman.
You can do other comics. Doesn't have to be DC. You can add in Hellboy. You can add in Spawn, I think his name was. You can add in who else? Any other
Invincible.
Invincible.
from,
Oh, that would be. I would be so hyped for that. Or I think Watchmen as well. Maybe that would be cool. Honestly, that would be awesome.
The
Or
Boys.
The Boys, yeah. I think it could happen. I think they have so much money that it could happen, and they're printing even
Maybe an
more.
Overwatch collab.
I wonder how much money they're gonna print
Oh.
this year. Overwatch collab would. I don't
Yeah.
think that's happening, but that would be funny.
They could also collab with games that are not competitors. So like, you know how Apex did Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah, for
you
skins
could-
and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool. Overwatch Tracer skin for Star Lord.
Stuff like that.
I have two things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, one, there's no Vanguard for the girlies. And we need a Vanguard for the girlies. And the thing is not it. And two,
Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
oh,
This is
That's the joke.
the
The
entire-
joke
this is the entirety of the joke.
okay. And two, I want gay people. I want to see women kissing, making out. I want to see Psylocke making out with magic. Yummy. Okay, that's
You
it.
can find that already, but yeah, not
I'm sure
officially.
you can
Yeah,
find
I want
that.
it in the game.
Does
Mm.
Overwatch have characters
I
making
want to see
out?
Kate Vi.
Ooh, yeah, that'd be.
I
that'd be
don't
some-
know. I don't know Marvel
fire.
characters, so I don't know the gay ones either. Are there many gay characters in
Are
Marvel?
there any?
I don't know. I'm clueless
Probably
about
some
Marvel lore.
probably some fringe characters are. I don't recall seeing Captain
And
America
Deadpool is
and Iron
pansexual.
Man.
Somebody
That's
said.
true.
Yeah.
But does he?
Oh.
Like, you can look at the Deadpool films. Does he ever actually meaningfully do anything
I mean, no.
with like a man? I don't think so. Not that I've seen the latest one, so maybe I'm missing out. But I think SK is right. But then I think I've seen. I mean, the internet is just a shit place, anyways. But I think I've seen people be like, "Oh yeah." In fact, wasn't it that fuckhead Grums who was like, "The reason Marvel Rivals is succeeding because it ain't gay like Overwatch." It's just like the fucking idiots are already on it. So maybe they will go down that route. I don't know.
The
I think it'll be fun.
pussification of Marvel Rivals.
I don't think they will, but I want.
I think it's likely that they won't because of their whole franchise nonsense, but and also being netties. So
And his company.
so it is unlikely, but it's a fair request. Where do you see the franchise going, Flats? Where do you see the franchise potential lying?
Like in like a couple of years from now.
Whenever,
Or
like,
just in
yeah,
general?
where could it go? Where could Marvel Rivals go? What could we look forward to?
I okay. My prediction is that in like 3 or 4 months from now, you're probably going to lose a lot of like the more mainstream streamers that are like not gamers, right? Like the streamers who do a lot of IRL, React, like whatever it might be. I think that it'll probably start to die off for them because as people get better at the game and as people, you know, start to take it more seriously, because that's just how competitive games are, it will happen.
I am reading
It'll
YouTube chat
start
now.
to kind of come back to like what, you know, like the normal viewership, watching, playing of a hero shooter is.
People care about sociality
I'm not
because they
saying
want to
it's
be
gonna die or
represented in
anything,
some
not
way.
even close. I'm just saying like it will come down back to earth a little bit, because it will probably have those people that will go back to Valorant. They'll go back to Counter-Strike. They'll go back
Should
to
I play
COD.
GTA 6, Chad?
But they'll still play the game. They'll still play it. Like, I'm not saying they're never going to not play it again. Like, I'm just saying, like, it'll become in their rotation of games, because, you know, like, you can already kind of see it happening now with, like, some people. It's like,
You don't have to
like,
make-
some people climbed really, really quick.
You don't have to make
and then
things
they get
really
a little bit
woke or
stuck,
whatever, or like
because they're
focus
starting
on
to
it.
bump into the
You can
really
be, like-
good like players from other games.
You can make
And
it
it's
very
like, if you're talking
tasteful.
like top tier COD
Like,
players or
I
something,
think a lot
like,
of people
they're
miss
getting into
Enters.
like
I can't speak
eternity,
while
you
Flash
know,
speaking 'cause
maybe
he's too
even
loud.
one above all, like top 500, like they're like on the cusp. You
But
know,
my point
But
is,
if we know anything about hero
I
shooters,
was
you
just
got to put
gonna-
in a lot of hours to keep up with it, right? We talked about Deadlock earlier. One of the reasons why I think Deadlock isn't that great, other than the fact that it's in, you know, it's still in like early access, like it's a request to get in, is like you have to play that game every week. If you don't play it constantly, you fall behind. Your build falls apart. You don't know what items are going on. Like the whole game changes. Like sometimes you're not even having a fight versus anybody for a long time, right? You have to put in a lot of hours. Rivals right now, you don't have to put in a ton of hours to pick up the game and just play. Like mechanically, you can just, you know, you read the
Arcane did a
team
good
up. So you're like,
job with it.
okay, this guy picked this thing. I can
I
pick
think a
this
lot
thing.
of people
boom, I'm
look at
stronger, I
like
got good
the really
mechanical
bad
skill.
examples,
We can do pretty well, right?
which
But
nobody
I think,
wants,
like, eventually
and they
it'll
forget
start
about the
to
good
come back
examples. They're really
down.
cool, to be honest.
I don't think it's going to go anywhere.
Like Ellie in
I
Last
think
of
it also
Us.
depends.
It doesn't have
how
to
heavy
be
they
your,
lean into, like,
the
all the
entire
rest of the
identity of the
collabs and
character.
stuff. Like, I
Either
know
way, I
that
won't yap about
Marvel
it too much,
Snap
but you
used to
can make
sometimes do
representation very
events,
tasteful.
like when the movie was coming out, which is kind of fucking cool.
Doesn't have to
So
be
like maybe if like
the
the
way you
Marvel
guys
movie comes
described
out,
it.
there might be in-game events around that. That brings people in, like makes them want to play, earning the new stuff. But all of this is just speculation. It's borderline impossible to predict something like that, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, the sky is really limited in terms of what they want to do. Because, like, I remember, like, Pokemon would give you, like, special cards if you went to, like, a screening of the film. So, like, could you get a digital code? And if a Marvel Rivals screening, they get
If
you a
Rivals
skin in the
goes
game,
this woke
right?
way,
Yeah,
games
maybe
getting
that's a thing
Concord
that you
pretty
could do.
quick.
If they feel like promoting the
What a
films in the
stupid
game
idea.
via the game is something worth doing, or vice versa, right? It's like, oh, there's a shout out in the film, just like a throwaway thing about like someone's playing Marvel Rivals or something, right? It's like, oh, play Marvel Rivals, right? So it really is-
Fortnite and the
Marvers.
Avengers. Oh my gosh.
That's true.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's exactly. So, but they probably won't do that anymore. Now they got their own game to promote. So
Yeah,
they probably won't
yeah.
do that anymore. But yeah, there's a lot you can do. I do think
Thank you,
Flat's
Awesome
point is
Russell
correct
Prime.
that people do go in and out. I think that is actually the key to long-term success for a game is that you look at like the way people play League. They don't constantly grind League for 10 years. They like play for a few months and they drop off. Then like the itch comes back, and then like a few months later they come back, or maybe something inspires them to come back.
Arcane.
Like, they watch Arcane and they're like, oh shit, wasn't League awesome? And then they play it for like a month. They're like, oh wait, that shit is ass. And then
I
they
like
leave.
League. I'll be honest with you. Every time I've played it, I've
I
had a
think
good
League
time.
is fun too.
I liked it.
I think League is fun. I prefer Dota, but I think League is fun too. So
But here's the thing. Marvel Rivals are releasing their own comics, right? Their own line of comics. Like they're making their own digital comics with the character. Like it's a different universe from the main one or whatever. But I think that's cool. Like just having some
You
kind
read
of.
comics?
I don't read them, but I just know it's happening.
we've established he doesn't read.
I actually
so
I've
it's hard for
I've
him.
read Watchmen, so but I don't.
Wow.
Yeah, but yeah, I just like gritty stuff where everything's depressing. Anyways, I'm sorry for interjecting.
No, that's fair. Is there anything else you guys want to add on this topic of just the franchise before I think we're kind of wrapping up basically? Any thoughts on like where the franchise could go?
Lesbians making out.
I think
Based.
at the end
Yeah.
of the day, people just want to play a good game, and as long as they keep, freshening it up with like hero releases and like, like some balance passes to just make sure we're not playing against the same repetitive stuff all the time, I think it's going to do great, and it's going to do great as long as they keep doing exactly
Somebody
that.
in YouTube chat said, "I don't
I-
think
that's
Marvel
what I
Rivals
think.
who bring gay awareness."
Is there
and then
a chance of like them
parentheses,
venturing
I have
into
no
a
idea how to
PvE
spell
or
it.
making their own TV
Absolutely.
show?
Absolutely.
he said
Yeah?
with a
I mean,
V,
aren't they on the
awareness.
Unreal Engine, and like isn't Fortnite's on it, and they have like a bunch of weird spin-offs where Lego Fortnite and whatever. I could see them doing some interesting thing, but
he-
I
he
think
typed
now
it
the
like
devs
this.
are 100% committed to delivering, well, in their words, the best 6v6 superhero shooter experience on the market. And I think that's what they're going to continue to do for now. But in the future, maybe they'll branch out.
And you can imagine
I could
they might
definitely see
actually
it. is what I'm saying.
They would actually give it a separate team. I would think they would have the money, just give it a separate team and be like, go make a PvE while we continue to make the PvP. Flats is getting PTSD.
Can we
again.
not have another PV incident,
I don't
please?
want
Please.
PvE.
I don't
I
want.
want a map maker.
Yeah,
love-
if they had a
Yeah.
workshop or something like that, that would be insane.
Dude, Spider-Man rollout maps. Oh,
dude, right?
A
we need-
workshop would be
Oh,
insane
sure.
for
That would be
actually.
sick.
Actually, like 1 year down the line, when people start getting bored with the game, and they drop on a workshop, Marvel Rivals stocks goes insanely up.
Mhm.
But yeah, you never know if they make another genre of game within Marvel Rivals, as they so often have done in other games, right? Like the creation of MOBAs famously. So maybe if they give a freedom of a map editor, which again is easier to do than it was for Blizzard, because the Blizzard's problem is that they run their own engine, so it's like difficult to give access to people to that. Whereas as if you're running like
Yeah.
Unreal, you know, Fortnite has a lot of creative stuff going on, so maybe.
That would be so cool.
But Flats, you're
Oh,
against.
you could make like Spider-Man levels where you reenact the movies. Oh,
Imagine.
oh
No, it can be
dude.
insane.
Oh,
It could be
dude.
insane. You could do so many cool things, like Fortnite custom games for there. You call them.
Yeah, like
Same
Fortnite
thing.
Creative. Oh man.
Why she got so
Marvel
hyped?
Rivals. Hey guys. Hey. Listen
SK
up.
would be on that. SK be making shit. SK's first creation would be gay level. Women
Nah.
kissing.
Gay level, all
No.
the women kissing each other.
Like all the female characters, and you just have to kiss each
Giant
of them to win the
Psylocke.
level.
Objective, kiss
Wow.
Psylocke, but you don't know where she is, so you need to find her.
Like a little dating game.
Yeah, we can do a. You can
That's a
do.
possibility.
Actually, yeah,
I'm,
you can
I'm
do a
not
dating
this
game.
desperate, guys. I wouldn't do that.
Okay, your Twitter interactions would
Okay,
suggest
anyway,
otherwise.
Anyway, moving on.
Moving on. Just
Objective
let
stroke
SK's
Venom's
mother is watching.
19-inch.
I just wanted to say, yeah, Flats, you're against the PV. Excursion, yeah?
Come on now. Come on.
You don't want to, you don't want them to repeat that mistake.
Whoa.
I'll be honest.
I feel like I shouldn't even open my mouth. You know, like I feel like that does better.
I think people that really okay, I won't say it. PV no. Yeah.
Wow, this is a much more dangerous topic than I thought it was.
Mhm.
People are very scared under Voldemort's name over here. So we'll move on then to our concluding section, which is I mean, what we kind of already talked a little bit about the future, but what are you guys looking forward to from Marvel Rivals? Like, what do you kind of want to see if there's not anything that you've already seen? And what are you just hyped that you know is coming? So yeah, what are you looking forward to from the future of Marvel Rivals? Let's say in the next 2 to 3 months. I'll go with Boger first. Boger, what are you looking forward to?
A TV show would be great. A movie or two would be awesome. No, I think just keep releasing new characters, new heroes. Be receptive of the player base. Like, don't ignore them if things are bad. Like, I'll be so disappointed if Hela receives 10 million buffs, or like characters that don't need buffs get buffed, and then it's gonna get super annoying, and then they refuse to change anything. That would be really disappointing. And I think so far they're doing great. So just keep it up and try to do their own thing. But if things go bad, just ask the goats. We have a little bit of experience in hero shooters. I think we can give an idea or two. So far they're receptive. I hope they keep it up. Keep releasing fun stuff. More Psylocke skins. And yeah. Whatever SK said as well about the characters. I won't utter that, but
SK?
I hope I hope the seasons are different from each other, like vastly different. I want to see different metas of 4 different bands every time.
we
Like
need
the
1,000 more
characters need to
DPS
change.
characters.
And I'm very excited to learn new heroes and get really good. I want to get really good at Black Panther. I hope they add more characters like Black Panther, Magic, Spider-Man, Psylocke. They're all so.
I
they're so
hope they
cool.
add a character
And it
like
seems
that
Like you could play
for tank. That's really complicated. I feel like most tanks are
True.
like.
You know,
like-
some of the tanks are boring.
I feel like most
Or
tanks
Most of them.
could be
There's
interesting. Yeah. Flats.
I, just,
I like
I
Captain
think there's
America.
more to the tanks than you might think. Like Captain America, I think he's low key. They're going to be the next one that people figure out is actually like
Yeah, he
secretly
needs-
pretty good.
I mean, he can be annoying. The problem is he just never dies, right? But I
Yeah.
wanted to say, can we mention how cool the voice lines are? I just like people get so excited for like
Yeah.
Berserker, just like fucking Awesome. I am Groot.
It's true. You are good. Necros, how about you? What are you looking forward to?
Spider-Man buffs. Honestly, I want to play him in one above all lobbies. I feel like it's gonna tough. No, but like I think just more heroes. I feel like in this game, so in Overwatch, I kind of stuck with Genji for like 8 years because I just feel like there wasn't anything really in
Mental
his
illness.
style other than DPS Doom, which I didn't pick up because I was
Mental
just having way
illness.
too much fun with Genji. But in Rivals, I
illness.
feel like I have 7 different versions of Genji, so I'm just looking forward to version 8 and 9 and 10.
And they're all
Mostly.
mediocre.
Yeah.
And they're all gonna be mediocre.
That's
Yeah,
what makes
I-
it fun, though. You don't want to grind like an OP character that's boring.
True.
It's not
It's
fun when
more
you're playing a
interesting to like
tournament.
see like the weaker characters pop off.
Exactly. Because I
No one
literally
cares
only
about the
played.
number one Hella, but number one Spider-Man, that's Aura.
True.
True. Yeah, because like SK's point, pretty much only played Black Panther, and it's fun the duality of like bitching about how shit the hero is, but then trying to pop off too. It's like you can have like a legit excuse where you're like, oh, it's my character that's dog shit, not me. And then when you pop off, you're like, yeah, I'm so good. So, Flats, how about you? What's your wish list and your hype train from our rivals?
I have 2 things. Number 1
Here's the thing.
is I want them to figure out. I'm not going to propose a solution. I want them to figure out a solution on target bans in ranked Diamond Plus. I think it is. I'm not saying make it stream mode. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just saying like I don't think it's a good advantage for a player to load into a lobby, look at the enemy team, and go, "Oh, I recognize that person. We can target ban them." That is not like you're not banning for the sake of the game. You're basically encouraging people to just name swap constantly, so they're not recognized.
Mace,
And so
Mace has a
those people who
spreadsheet
do
with
name
all
swap
of the
a lot,
people
or play on alt
and
accounts or
or their
whatever,
most played
will
characters.
benefit greatly as
And they
opposed
just
to
ban
people who
their
play on their main.
characters.
It almost encourages smurfing. So I think that they should figure out a way for when you load into a lobby that you are banning based on what your team has. Like if you have a Hella player, maybe you don't ban Hella because you're like, okay, that guy's actually pretty good at Hella. Let's let him play it. Versus target banning enemy players. Like you should be banning based on what the meta is and what your team can play versus I saw a name on the enemy team, let's ban them. Because like when I play with SK and Wanted, I don't have a problem. I never get target banned. But I swear to the amount of Bucky bans I've seen is ridiculous. Like Bucky sucks. Like I don't think he's very good. And I swear he's banned in 95% of the games that we play. And I'm like, why are you guys banning Bucky? Like what's wrong with you? Like are you stupid? So I think that's pretty stupid. And also too, stream sniping can kind of help it because of that. Because like, oh, I see what they're doing over there. Like let's open their stream and then we can see what they're banning and we can counter ban back. But I think that's an issue that they need to figure
Or
out
stop
in
talking
some
about
way,
others,
shape, or
please.
form.
They can't hear me.
And number 2,
I hope you realize that.
Number 2.
I'm muted.
rivals. If you're listening, if somebody ends up listening to this in the
If
future,
they could hear me, I think it would be
if
really
you guys
annoying.
come out and make creator codes before Overwatch does, I think I would swap full time.
Oh,
Damn,
Creator
threw it out there.
codes.
oh,
It has been years, and I'm tired of being disrespected.
he's been
And
begging.
I
Ouch.
know that a game like Rivals would probably do that because there are games out there that are like Fortnite. Hell, even COD did it for a long time. That they respect their creators, they respect their community, they want it to grow, they want it to foster, they want it to improve.
Would you use code Booger, guys?
And I think Rivals is a game that will do
Would
that.
you use code Booger?
Damn, there you go.
Psylocke
What?
with booty skin, creator codes, make me a rich woman.
Mhm. So,
Okay, but I want to talk about seeing names before bans. I feel like we should talk about this a little bit more because when I was very first starting, I got really frustrated. I hated that people could see my name before the game because Psylocke was banned in literally 19 out of 20 games that I played, and Psylocke was the only hero that, one, I knew how to play, but two, that I enjoyed. None of the other heroes really clicked for me like Psylocke did. So I was very frustrated and thinking about not even playing the game anymore. But the longer that it went on and the more heroes I learned because I was forced to, I actually do like that I was forced to learn so many different heroes and that I could not one trick. So I'm I don't know. I'm 50-50 on whether names should be seen before games or not, because I feel like if names were not shown before the game, then every single game, Hawkeye, Hella, Hulk ban, and there's no variety anymore.
Yeah, it's one of those issues again where it's like you fall one way down the line, you lose some things and you gain some things. Because like, interestingly, in Dota recently, they've actually changed the way they do bans, because it used to be that you'd manually ban at the start of the game. But I think also one thing that Marvel Rivals will eventually have to deal with is when you have loads more heroes, you'll have to add loads more bans. And then that gets tedious. So what they do now is like you just pre-select your bans. Like you have like 3 bans that you want to make in general before you ever get into a game. And then when you queue up, it like auto randomly picks some from everyone's chosen. And just as soon as the game starts, it's just like these 10 heroes are banned. So it might come down to that, where it's just like just simplifies the process and it removes the targeted ban element.
Yeah, but imagine
like
it just chooses randomly not to ban Hela or Hawkeye, and you're like, oh fuck my life, right? Because right now,
Yeah.
I know if you know how it works. If 5 people vote for Hela and 1 person votes for, I don't know, a Raccoon, there's a chance that the Raccoon gets banned, and you just lose the game, and it's so annoying.
Well, that is the inevitable part of it, though. You're gonna have games where someone gets their like the meta ban through, right? So there will be a sacrifice. You can't always ban the hero you want to ban. Like that's just the nature of playing a team game. Is that if someone else in your team doesn't have a problem with Hela or wants to play Hela, they may want to let through the ban, and that happens.
I think the majority should just win every time. I think it's stupid to get griefed by like a random that doesn't, just wants to troll essentially.
Well, what if you're the guy who wants to play that hero, though, right? Like, what if everyone wants to ban Spider-Man? You're the guy who wants to play Spider-Man.
I'll take the L. I actually thought about this. I don't mind the fact, like, I have so many, there's so many, okay, that's the thing with this game. There's like 7 Genjis for me, right? So there's like another Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I really enjoy the other heroes too, so I really don't mind. I'm not possible to ban, because yeah, sometimes I'll be like, oh man, I really want to play Spider-Man this game, and it gets banned, but it's like, whatever. Like, it's the sacrifice that I'm willing to make for there to be bans, because I think it's so much healthier for the game to be able to ban really annoying heroes like Hela and Hawkeye over to like just be able to play my hero every time. It's a necessary evil, I guess. It's good for the game ultimately.
But would you like names to be blurred out before or no?
I also thought about it too. Like, I mean, I guess for me it's not really a problem, but it does kind of suck if you have like I don't know, like a Panther OTP and then they ban Panther and then he just ints on another hero. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, at the same time, it's like it's not really the game's problem. It's like maybe stop being a one trick. I know that's really funny coming from me, but like, yeah,
But
it's not the game's issue.
but they have like the #1 Black Panther, and you're banning Hawkeye Hela, and it's like, fuck.
My phone said it's time
I
to
don't know.
sleep.
Well, I don't know. I think they should add some, like, maybe it could be like opt-in, like if they add like some sort of streamer mode, and then you could choose whether you want your name to be seen or not, right?
But then everyone would hide it, right?
Yeah, then there's
Yeah,
no
everyone
incentive
would
to not hide it.
Probably. Well, what if I want, like, wait, what if I have like an insanely cracked Hela on my team, and then I show my name, and then they ban? But see, there's some like layers of it that are interesting.
No, because you wouldn't be able to toggle your name on. I don't think that's how it would work. But you're just like, oh guys, I'm actually
Yes,
Bucky, please
randomly
ban.
Necro shows his name for a millisecond. It's
Yeah,
like, oh,
yeah.
that's not suspicious at all.
Hey, listen,
Hmm.
people are simple. They would just be like, oh, that's Necros. All right, we're banning Spider-Man. Goodbye, Spidey. Tournament.
Maybe. I think
Yeah.
it's one of those issues where like you kind of have to make a call and you lose something and you win something. So it's like if you want
Yeah.
targeted
Yeah.
bans for like, oh, let's target this guy because he plays this, and you will lose the, some people will feel the pain of it versus like, more blind bans or random bans.
Mhm.
They have their pros and cons.
That's
Anything else?
That's also.
Yeah, go ahead, Flats.
I just want to reiterate, by the way, I actually agree with you guys too. On like the whole, like, it adds an extra element, but like I that's why I don't want to propose a solution. Like, it shouldn't just hide it or just do whatever. Like, figure something out. And if you decide to stand on it and be like, we like that because it forces people to not one trick in the game, that's fine. But then you also have to deal with the consequence of the people who just name swamp a lot. So it almost becomes kind of pay to win, like if you're paying extra money to have your name constantly changed, nobody knows it's you. You can keep one tricking and keep climbing the ladder and going higher and higher. Or just it encourages people to smurf more often. So it's like there is an adverse effect that will, I think, be created over time. So it's like whatever they end up choosing, fuck it, we'll live with it. But it is still an issue.
I want to add also that streamer mode does have its downsides. Like if there's a cheater and you get him 2 games in a row, you don't know it's him the next game.
That's true.
Or if you get like a lobby with all pros in it, but everyone's on streamer mode, the aura of that lobby, you can't see the aura, you know? You're like,
Aura.
you get into a game and everyone's got NRG in their name, you're like, oh, holy
Or you can just
fuck,
hide the
this
names
lobby's crazy.
only before the game starts, and then when the game begins, you can
Yeah.
you can
Yeah,
show
I
it.
think I'd rather have it like that than like a full-on, I don't know.
Yeah, isn't that how League does it? They just hide it while in the banning phase, and then
Yeah.
once everyone loads in,
Mhm.
everyone's names are shown. Yeah, that would be kind of okay. But to be honest, about the cheater thing, like I don't know about you guys, but like whenever I've seen a cheater, like maybe the devs have just been like super receptive to my feedback. I was like, hey, this dude's cheating in my game. I swear, it never took longer than a day before the dude was banned. Sometimes it was the same day. They were super quick on that. And
Definitely
have you guys seen much
unique to
cheaters
you.
lately? Because I haven't.
I mean, I found
Actually-
I found a guy that was cheating. He got banned, and then he got unbanned and queued in against me.
I
Yeah,
know that
yeah,
guy. I
for
know
an
that
hour.
guy.
Talking about the same guy.
He got banned for one
Yeah.
day. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, you know,
That was weird. That was weird. I don't know what that was about,
Yeah.
but they did
I'm
ban
just-
him after.
okay, yeah, okay. I mean, I'm just saying like that. There's definitely a little bit of a cheater issue right now. I don't know if it's gotten pulled back in the last few weeks. I feel like it has. I feel like it hasn't been as bad as like the first week or so, or 2 weeks of Rivals. So like maybe they did something, but yeah, I agree.
Yeah, the first
Crazy
two weeks were
chat.
horrible, but I
Yeah.
think it's gotten better. I haven't seen one in like weeks, and I'm grinding pretty consistently.
Also want to say I think it's a little too easy to unlock ranked. You can make a new account and queue ranked within an hour.
Oh,
Yep.
they absolutely need to nerf
You can
the conquest
farm
mode.
the conquest
It's
mode.
so bad.
Yeah, you can keep
Yeah.
farming it. You get so much
Like
experience.
they definitely need to increase the level to like 30 or something. I don't know, just like his.
30
There's
is
also a lot of people
way
that are
too high,
selling.
but
There's like a lot of
Yeah.
people that are selling accounts too, which is really really bad for the whole like ranked ecosystem because it like just introduces like really bad
Awesome.
players. Yeah. So yeah, they should definitely nerf the XP gains. I think like and increase the level, nerf the XP gains of conquest and increase the level required
Thanks
to
so
queue
much for
ranked. Is
playing,
probably the. I hope to see that in season 1.
well, okay, because the game's so new, I think it's fine if it was just like the quick play rates. It still takes like 6 or 7 hours of quick play to get level 10.
Compare that to Overwatch. How much do you have to win like 50 games, right, to queue
It's
ranked?
12 hours in Overwatch, yeah. But
Yeah.
Overwatch is multiple years old, and Marvel Rivals just came out.
True. Okay. Anything else you guys want to throw out there before I let you get going? Anything else you maybe want to bring up? Any topics that we didn't touch on? And if not, then thank you very much, Flats, Necros, SK, and Boger, for joining me for this episode of the Group Up Podcast. I don't know when next one will be. I'll talk a little bit after I let these guys go in the call for anyone who is more curious about the state of the podcast and stuff in general. But as SK slowly expands in our screens and in our hearts, I will sign off here and say, yeah, thank you guys for joining me. I hope you had a good one, and I hope to see you guys again soon.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say?
Bye bye.
Not really. Thank you. Bye, SVB
Bye-bye.
Nation. Thank you
Guys.
so much.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
See you guys.
Bye,
Good one.
nations.
Bye.
Thank God that's over. Damn, these people are annoying. Ow. I'm gone. I'm gonna go eat food now. Take care, guys. I'm gonna end my stream. Be a chill guy. Boar Nation is out forever. See ya. See you in a week, or maybe I'll stream. I'm going to a friend, so we'll see when you see me. We'll see when you see me. But thank you so much for watching, and yeah, I'll probably stream from his place, but I can't promise. Can't promise everything's gonna work. Bye, everyone. Bye.